to Homebrew Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and I am here today solo. Unfortunately, the person I had scheduled to do this was Spencer, and unfortunately got called into work to take care of a manager that was being sick, and my backup, unfortunately, is not available as either. So, it's just going to be me today. We're going to be covering this. I was going to possibly delay this thing and push the tournament, but then I realized that we have so much going on with the current championship series I'm going to get into and show you guys what we're talking about. The championship series kicked off, that I'm not going to have time to actually put this video anywhere else. This was a big event at Lifelink Games. We were able to host a large tournament that was larger than our actual Nationals qualifier tournament for a Manga Zoro, one of the more expensive, not the most, one of the more expensive mangas that are still currently available on the market. And one of these winners from one of the competitors today is going to walk home with that prize. I personally donated one of my EX boxes, those illustration EX boxes, ones you can barely see behind the Tony Choppers behind my head over there. But there was one that you got from the One Piece Day. And when we went there, they had these really cool things. So if you got in line, got there on time, were able to register, you were able to get one after day 2, and they realized that they should have limited it for everybody else who got in the line late on that first day and couldn't even get one or anything at that matter, because they told us, hey, by the way, your time is up, you can come in line to buy stuff. I said, what do you guys have? It's like, oh, nothing. It's like, oh, so I can arrive in line and queue up to stare at the product that would be there. That was pretty much how day 1 went. But day 2, I was able to secure one, and then one of my friends was able to pick up another one from his queue. And from that, we donated that box to this. So second place is going to be walking away with one of those EX boxes. That comes with the Rob Lucci and the Jewelry Bonnie alt arts that you can currently, the box is going for about $140. There's some swaying to say whether this is going to get a reprint or not. I don't know. I hope so. Kinetic Carnage, good to see you. Lonely Doombot, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here and for hitting the exclamation point join, because you guys haven't forgotten. This is going to be one of the few times that I pick from the community box, because usually I have my guest speakers here. So let's see, what is the luck of Jimmy D finally pulling one of the hits from this community box, huh? And we have now 8 packs after these. I think, what is it? I think 10 packs is what we counted last night. Can't hear, but I'm. Oh, okay. Is it because you're at work, Kanak? I'm hoping. If it's an audio issue, please let me know. My headset is dead. Oh no. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. All right, Kanaka, welcome here. Thank you very much for being here. We got ourselves the 2 packs. I'm going to put you in here. I wish I could figure out exactly why the headset was the only reason that it's not working, because apparently everyone else says the quality of the audio seems to be coming just fine. It's going to be a little weird today because I'm not speaking to one mic. I've got 2 different active mics here. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. 20% chance? 20% chance of what? I'm wondering, Kinetic Carnage, what's the 20% chance that we're looking at here? Or is it something I said? I speak so fast sometimes I don't even catch me. That's why I need like my casters with me, because half the time they're paying attention to the rambling as I try to fill the airways with conversation and commentary for you guys. We got 5 rounds today of this manga tournament. These are all going to be best of 1 because we followed the same suit. Originally, we had planned that we were going to have the final match be a best 2 out of 3 because we were giving up something so big. Day Lifelink had said, listen, they're going to be winning 700-800 in a spiking manga rare. Let's make sure that the top table truly earn it. They got some skill. We don't have just a flub quick match and go with it. But unfortunately, the way the tiebreakers broke down, we had to cut around earlier because a down pair happened off screen, and that down pair ended up beating the only other undefeated. So the only match we had recorded was the best of 1 at the table. We couldn't actually ask them to go back to the table and redo the things because we'd already just finished it off and we thought we were going to have another round, but we actually concluded the last round with our actual finalist and our single only undefeated person, which we're going to find out today who that lucky person is. We have a lot of return favorites, a lot of people from the championship series. I also have an update for you on the leaderboard, guys. We have a championship leaderboard that went into it, so those that attended who are part of the championship and paid into it are going to have those points applied. We had a breakdown of who those were. I got the list here of 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you actually subscribe to my Patreon account, you could find out for free today exactly what that leaderboard looks like, and our congratulations to our top 4 performers from that list. So obviously that wasn't the top 4 from the actual list of people. That I can give, I guess, at some point if it's really requested. I can give it to you. I got the Melee tournament breakdown of who got what at what place. But I put down the deck list today for the people I have on camera and for the ones that I could get access to. Some of them, unfortunately, don't quote me on these things. I tried to get in contact with them. I couldn't get their deck list in time, so I made up with some makeshift current OP10 good deck lists for those individuals. Getting back in the chat, Kinet Card says, if it's a 2-hit. I have a 20% chance if it's a 2-hit to pick this box. All right, I like it. Chance of getting, yeah, I love it. It's the Mole. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you. Good to see you again. Got to get this. You won yesterday. Now I got to see if I can win the double back-to-back for packs. Of course, I'll be getting that to you Tuesday if you show up for the championship qualifier series week 2, part 1. Because as I said, guys, the actual event today was a kind of like twofer, right? Because we didn't have the Saturday afternoon event. We had to roll the manga tournament, which didn't have a cap or limitation or lottery system to it. It was just show up, you could play for it, and which made it so we could actually host a bigger tournament than what the system would even allow us to. And this tournament was so successful that the Bondi app actually prevented us from adding more players post 32, because apparently our store level is only a 32 person to host for some of these events. So I think it kind of blew that out of the water, and maybe we can work with Bondi maybe to increase our size here, because we can clearly host up to 100 people, and we can find the people to get up to that size. Clearly we've represented it. Back to back, you say? Hey, let's see. We got some great rounds of tournament. We do have, Greg is on screen the first matchup, which is gonna be really fun. We got some cool deck lists to go into. I got a little bit of news, not much to cover, without my host here to kind of like talk about back and forth some of the things. So I'm kind of just scrubbing the news for today, and we're just gonna get straight into the actual gameplay. This one I will be interacting. It won't be like yesterday where everything was highly focused. I'll pause the video if I need to get to the chat, comment with you guys. Love to hear what you guys think about some of these matches. I can't wait to show you some really cool decks. These players are, just FYI, to give you some background into what they are feeling mentally right now. They've already done a 5-round tournament in the regional, most of them, and now they're going to be rolling themselves right into this manga tournament. So only with a quick hour break, like 45 minutes, they were able to grab some food, but now right back into it, 5 rounds of this manga tournament, best of 1, OP10 series. Guys, a lot of great deck lists, a lot of great people. They really, really great people at the top here. They're very humble, loved what they got, and just excited to be there, and loved the new space, loved the environment that we had going for us, and they loved this really neat experience that we offer at Lifelink Games, which is for you to get on camera. And one of the things that I kind of emphasize every time that I get new players and people that come out there, there's going to be times, especially if you're grinding that big circuit, the national circuit, you're going to be asked to be put on camera. And I've seen a couple times, especially at the last Bondi Card Fest, there was an individual that got put on there that clearly was a little bit nervous about the whole situation. It's tense sometimes to be on camera, to think, oh, I got thousands of people watching me. Everyone's gonna be watching my every move. Every mistake is gonna be blah, blah, blah. Your mind's running with things that are not the game that you're playing. And in that, you can fail. I've been through these type of situations with a lot of my local players that do grind quite heavily in the nationals for all the TCGs we cover, because we cover just about all of them, right? Magic the Gathering probably being the biggest example I can give you. There's a lot of opportunity going just even to a regional championship qualifier that Star City would put you on camera. Or if you went into up in the north, or even up, I believe Channel Fireball was doing over in the west. So a lot of these things would host these tournaments and host this kind of content, and they would kind of force you into the camera. And if you're not prepared for it, you might make some critical game mistakes that I don't want to see you make. I know you're great players. I know you can do this. Here's a great opportunity to come to a locals and participate on camera, get that experience out, so you no longer feel that outside inner thoughts that are driving away your gameplay. You're able to just really check out or play the game the way that you want to play the game. And also on top of that, be able to rewatch your gameplay, see some things, maybe learn from it, because I get to learn from you guys. I think the smartest people learn from other people's mistakes. So even if you're not on camera, I think it's a great opportunity for you to watch other players and see what you would have done. I think yesterday we saw quite a few plays where, like, man, if you sequenced it right, you could have won that game. And those are the critical things, especially in best of 1, where you don't have an option to mess up one time. Like, it can literally cost you the entire game. We got a comment from YouTube. Let's hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. Mama Sim, welcome to the chat. Appreciate you. You got to get in the store. Don't forget to get your pack that's sitting there. It's been sitting there for a while waiting for you. I think it's something good. I don't even remember what it was. I give away so much stuff all the time. I don't know what it is. But thank you very much, KP. I appreciate you. Guys, we're going to get into a little bit of news. We're going to get into the deck list. Then we're going to get into round one. Round one is so quick that I'm probably going to just roll that into round two. Then I'm going to take a break, and we'll do 2, 3, 4. I don't know how the order is. Let me take a look at it, because I know that there is one long match out of today's matchup. So I'm going to make sure I can brace myself for it. I think if you guys get the hint for what the long match is, I think you know what the deck list is going to be before we get into it. But for round one, we have ourselves 2 great players. Greg on Red Purple Luffy. Super excited to see him back in here. By the way, Greg won the first manga tournament. So this is going to be his opportunity to try to win back-to-back, if he can. He's first up on here, and he's going to go up against Noah, who's playing this really cool new deck that we've been talking about, this green-purple limb deck. I don't have his actual list. I have a list, and we're going to talk about this limb deck, what it does, and, of course, get into the matchup, which looks to be a really fun match. I can't wait to see it. So first, let's talk about the news. Of course, this is the Lifelink website. We are preparing ourselves pretty heavy. For those who don't know, then this channel, I will be going live to play some Final Fantasy 6, 7, maybe some step-ups to it, because I saw that there were some games I actually had missed over the time. One of my favorite characters, Vincent, has his own solo game, so I think because I've been an adult and I haven't been able to, I think in 2022 they came out with a really cool game that I wasn't even paying attention to, and it's available on Steam, so now I want to play that, and I want to get that in the game, and I can't wait. Like, huge fan of Final Fantasy 7, actually most of all Final Fantasy series, love the game, and we're going to be playing this. I'm also going to, when I can, get a box of this Final Fantasy set from MTG. I'll be giving away packs of this prior to it actually going to sale. Now, mind you, I can't mail those out until at Friday, or give those even away until Friday, because the sale is technically not for sale, or the set is not for sale. So we can do really cool box openings. You guys want to join this? It's just going to be one whole box. I'm just going to pilot the whole thing, and at random points, I'm going to give away packs to people who are watching me play some Final Fantasy. I took the week off from work so I could actually sit back, relax, and play some video games for once, since I never have time to do it. And I figured this would be the perfect time. It's my birthday week, and we've got a brilliant set coming out, guys. It's Final Fantasy. You are getting Final Fantasy MTG already? Well, Captain Little, we don't get the set until the 6th. But that week, this is the week I'm talking about, when this comes out, I will be live during the day playing the Final Fantasy games. And then I'll go to Lifelink later to go help out with some of the tournament organization. But I'll be going live just on my birthday week playing some really cool Final Fantasy games. I don't expect a lot of you guys to be there because it's a work week and a lot of you guys are doing stuff. But personally, I'm super excited for this set. I really love Final Fantasy. I love the opportunity to play these games again and just relive some of my childhood. We're playing some of the best, arguably, storytelling that we'd seen in a long time, especially to the time to which it was released. Lifelink says we're getting an early start on it, and it will be the biggest MTG set of all time. I could not agree more. Seriously, Daddy Lifelink, this set is going to be huge. Not only are we going to have a midnight release, so if you guys are looking at this, the day that it comes out, which is technically Friday, we're going to host on Thursday really cool events up until that midnight, and then we're going to release product. We're going to go live. It's going to be late at night. You're going to see us open up product from customers. We've got a couple people that said they'd already opened up some of their collector boosters they pre-ordered. We're going to open up some of the packs. There's potential for a draft that night. There's going to be, we're going to have a lot of really cool stuff to showcase to you guys, to show all the new cards that are coming out and what people are pulling from the local area. I can't wait because the spoilers are coming soon. I know we've got a few, not all of them. Spoilers coming soon, but we're going to see all that, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm a big dual commander plan. These cards, by the way, are legal in all formats. All formats. Obviously, Pauper is limited to common and uncommon. Or, I'm sorry, common. But the commons from here are legal. So this is standard legal, going to be impacting potentially all formats. We got to find out what the cards are yet. From what I've seen, look really cool for Commander. Don't know much about the rest of the formats, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it. WotC have already said it's their best-selling set of all time, and it hasn't even released yet. Holy crap. All right, well, I'm good to hear that news. Holy crap. So buying this IP was the right choice. Lifelink, or MTG, here you go, finally. Captain Little says, shame I don't live out there. Do you guys know what the price of Lifelink is going to be selling the boxes for? Yeah, we've been posting it up there. I don't know if we have any more for pre-sale. Let's see the website here. Do we have any more for pre-sale here? I don't know if we sold out because we did. Man, we had so many of these things. But $189.99, and only one remaining. So you have one chance to get one of them left over from what we have. Sell about 20 to 30 under MSRP. Yeah, if you guys look at the difference here, it's insane. Go to Amazon. Go to Final Fantasy. One of the key things and the key strategies we do at Lifelink Games is to make sure that we get the customer the value of the product as it should cost. Limit it to how many people. We don't like scalpers, so we don't allow people to buy tremendous amounts. We want to make sure everybody has an opportunity. Man. Final Fantasy MTG booster box. I feel like these things were selling like hotcakes the other day. They've been the first thing to pop up here. These things were going for like $280, $290 last I checked, but now I'm getting mixed up with the actual TCG. Which, by the way, I actually bought a box. I got a really cool box opening. I can probably show as a commercial for you guys if you want. But I'm trying out this Final Fantasy card game. It looks pretty fun. Captain Bliss says, "Oh darn, I won't be able to pre-order for another couple of weeks. I was hoping to order from y'all. Yeah, if we get some more, yeah, we'll be adding in more to the website once we confirm allocations. So just stay tuned. Thank you, Lifelink, for addressing that. I want to make sure you guys know that we as much as we can, we'll put it out there. We'll keep buying as much as we can. Remember, this is going to be a standard legal set, so there will be a lot of reprints in this set for the duration of its existence in standard. So probably about 2 years. Unfortunately, not seeing anything here. They must have sold out in those outrageous boxes where they just got so many hate mail they just stopped posting it. So, yeah, I think they were going up for like $260 at one point. It was absolutely insane for some of these prices. Yeah. All right, getting into a little bit of the coverage for this week. So this week we have tomorrow, week 2, Championship Series. We have the, this is week 2, part 1 of our One Piece Championship Series. We got 8 total weeks of this thing. Can't wait to see who's going to be our MVP, who gets a coveted prize. Can't wait to find out who's going to be the champion, if you will, at the end of it. He's going to get himself a medal, get themselves a custom playmat that's going to be 1 of 1 for them, and the Dawn at the time to which we can get it. Right now, we're still printing off Championship Players 1 and 2, which was kind of pricey, but we're going to get that. Championship 3, we're still doing the art for it, and of course, we don't know who's going to be for it, so we're going to find out. But Spencer's really upped the ante with his request for how that Dawn should look. I'm really looking forward to showcasing Midnight's art when she finally gets to the finish of it. But yes, we have that going on Tuesday and Saturday, 6:30 p.m. We had the 6:30 Wednesday night is going to be Flesh and Blood and our standard showdown. So if you guys want to tune out for some awesome new promos, this Snakeskin Veil is gorgeous. One of the players who won it actually gave it to me. I really appreciate it. Said he had nothing to do with the Snakeskin Veil and knew that it's a card I play in just about all my decks. I love removal aversion. And this really cool artwork for the Snakeskin Veils. Really enjoying it. They're making it really work. I think it's going to be Coop this time, Little Pancake says. All right. That's a decent odds. It's that's something... maybe. We don't know. He's actually on the leaderboard currently, so I don't know. All things are all bets are off here. We could possibly see Super Coop take us to the top. We have the book club, of course, coming up Wednesday. Wednesdays are packed, guys. Wednesdays are a huge house. Thursday we have the Commander. Friday, of course, we have the this is going to be modern for this Friday, mostly because this Saturday we're going to be doing the regional championship qualifier. And at the regional championship qualifier, I'll be recording it and then going live with Nico in the studio on Sunday. So for those wanting to look at some awesome modern decks and what we're going to be playing, I think right now I'm currently on either Blink or some kind of Orzhov draw. I don't know. I'm between decks right now, but we'll find out what I'm going to be playing and this thing. Also, following that day, they got a really cool event kicking off here, the Spring Flourish special event for drafting here. $22. This is going to be at 6 p.m., so this will be post the actual RCQ. There's a lot of really cool promos, guys. A lot of really cool promos that are given away for the Spring Flourish. A lot of them, and honestly, taking a deeper look, these look like the D&D cards, but they're now made for Magic the Gathering, so they don't have to take the cards in this is the movie D&D, the movie D&D cards, and they're now putting them into promos here. for other players so they can play them in the actual real Magic the Gathering universe. And this is what they have to do to avoid having to pay royalties on all these cards every single time they print it. But Little Pound Cake says Supercoop's going to win with Chopper. With Chopper, okay? All right. I've told everybody how to beat that deck. I don't know how, but if for somehow, some way, Supercoop does it, I will give away it in with Tony Chopper, mind you. He has to win and with Tony Chopper. I will give away all like my best Chopper cards, and I will bow to him and say that he is the Tony Chopper fan. He wins. That is the stipulation. He has to win the event of the Championship Series with Tony Chopper. And I'll give him the title of the true Tony Chopper fan. Hands down. He'll win it. He's been trying to win it with his t-shirt, his book bag, his really cool hat and stuff. I've been winning it with some of my merch. We go back and forth. It's a little thing that you guys don't see inside the store, that Coop and I go back and forth of who's the bigger Chopper fan. I got a nice mat. I've got sleeves. Just saying. And a really cool deck box. I say as like a little child here. But yeah, we are going to have an awesome RCQ coming up this weekend. Can't wait to see it this Sunday. It's going to be fantastic. With Nico and his first time going live with us, of course, we have the constant prep for this June 6th week. It's going to be huge. We're only 1 month away from host this stuff. I'm super excited. Alrighty, let's get into the deck lists for our first matchup. Noah coming in here. Hey, Joe, good to see you. Thanks for explanation. Thank you for hitting the join button. All right. So we have a Lim deck. This is not Noah's deck list and not card for card. I'm sure it's somewhere similar to it. Lim, for those that don't know, is a leader that came out in 2009. It was a leader that really didn't have the support it needed to actually become a real strong competitor. But come 010 or come OP10, the cards that it got in support that we're going to go over here in a little bit really helped this deck take off, because it has a leader effect with arguably a really hard downside where your character cards come into play rested. In a lot of ways that it makes them extremely vulnerable on play. But the way the deck plays out, depending on how many rested characters you have extra effects that are pretty busted for the low cost. And it comes with a very powerful effect, however. One, where you can rest 3 Dawn, add up to 1 of your Dawn cards from your Dawn deck, and rest it. So you get it's 4 Dawn, basic ramp, and play 1 Odyssey type character card with a cost 5 or less from your hand. So you get to play for 3 costs, a 5 cost or less, which is huge. You're going to see a lot of these really powerful 5 drops you can play for 3. And while you're doing it, you're ramping out in the early stages so you can get to some really powerful cards that we're going to show you in the back end. But even though your characters come to play rested, meaning they're vulnerable to attack upon play, you still get some amazing Odyssey effects from these plays here. Captain Window says, most lamps I've encountered haven't had any trouble with the cards coming out rested. Yeah, same. A lot of these bodies aren't necessarily easy things to swing into. You look at all the 5 drops it has to choose from: 6K, 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 5K, 6K. Like, all these things are coming out as stronger than your leader and forcing the opponent to have to deal with them. And the worst part about it is, after they get played, they're basically, outside of a few blockers, they're vanilla cards, guys. There's not a whole lot of reason outside of a 6,000 attack body to even care about these things. This one is a restand. If you have 2 or more rested characters, you can set this one as active, so you get a nice little Doflamingo that can attack and restand itself as a blocker in the later stages. You have this on play here. If you have 2 or more rested characters, one of your opponent's characters would cost 5 or less, you get arrest 1. So this one allowing you to force it in your opponent. Really, this is a nice tool, 2K with nice 5K body. Most of the time I see this played as a 2K. But if you need to rest a blocker in the late game to get a game win, this is how you do it. And you can do it for 3 Dawn, which saves you for the math for this amazing game ender here for the Roro Zoro. Those that haven't seen this thing's been an absolute menace since it's printing here. It's hard to get out because at the top end, as soon as you play it, you've basically told your opponent, you're on a clock. FYI, if you don't deal with this card or give me the turn, next turn is highly likely I'm going to close the game out, and it's going to be in my favor, because this card attacks 3 times. The first one requiring you an additional Dawn, the next one requiring you 2 additional Dawn, But you can load this thing up on your basic turn to nice little 12k, and essentially on your turn have 3 12k swings from one card, which is absolutely devastating in some late games when your hand's low on counters, you're low on your ability to defend. Gum Gum Giant ain't gonna get you out of that 12k swing, not by itself anyways. There's a lot of different cards in here that are a lot of hard ways to get around this when it happens. So once it lands, and when I tried this out in my 2020 Chopper deck, it was really difficult for me to not telecast to my opponent, this is the last turn. So if I can't defend the turn that I play this card, and they go all aggro on my face, that's usually how I lost. Because they knew that this was going to be the do or die turn. If they let me have the turn, it was over. There's no walling up on 3 12k attacks, along with whatever else might be on my board here. Insamol says, having an answer for a 1 cost immediately is important. Oh, couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. There's a lot of great power-up cards here that just you have to answer as soon as they hit the board. From the 1 cost Dark Limb. Here, once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field in the opponent's effect, you may rest one of your Odyssey characters instead. Set up to one of your rested Odyssey type set as active at the end turn. So this one kind of like really basically saving itself and saving others and putting things as active where you can really start playing early game. Like the most busted, in my opinion, is the blocker restand. Being able to attack the blocker and restand it is just absolutely insane, right? Captain Literal says, I had a Limb try to do that with Zoro to me, and I got Capone out of life. Oh, nice! And Limb was just, I got nothing. Yeah, the Capone Beige in life is a devastating comeback card. It is why all yellow players love that card. By the way, if those that don't know, the trigger is it stops one of the characters from attacking for the turn. So once getting hit, you Capone Beige it, and it's like, well, no more attacks. Doesn't matter if you restand. That character can't attack anymore this turn. It is a devastating card. Something that has been quite dramatizing on this channel, indeed. Next, we're going to get into Greg's deck list here. Oh, and also it is a 2K. Yeah. Thank you for adding that. The 2K counter is not something to snuff at. So really nice. A dual capability with this 1 cost is what he's referring to here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's talking about Capone Beige. Yeah, being a 2K counter in hand, so it's even good in hand, not just from life. My apologies here. If you love restanding blockers, there's a purple Tony Chopper other than the restand as a blocker. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, thank you, Samal. Sorry. At first I thought you were talking about... It's hard to keep track of which conversation, because I know you guys are on a slight delay than I am on right now. So whatever conversation I think you might be responding to might be something I said like 30 seconds ago. Always got to be mindful of that. Makes things weird. But I digress. Let's get into our first deck list, or second deck list here. Monkey D. Luffy, a 3 life leader, 6,000 power. That's how they offset it. You have 3 life, 6,000 power. Most leaders in the game only having 5,000 power. This always requiring some kind of Dawn allocation for your leader to even swing into this, and even sometimes even higher when we're going to showcase some of the cards that come in this deck. Basically, this first line right here, if you have 0 Dawn cards on the field, all that applies to is it's basically saying, hey, you can play this Gear 5 Luffy that removes all your Dawn and actually be able to recover from it. So really ignore the if you have 0 on here, because you're going to immediately get Dawn before you can even activate this leader ability. So this isn't something you activate in turn 1. However, in the later game stages, if you have 8 or more Dawn, you can add 1 Dawn for your Dawn deck and set it as active. So on your 9 Dawn turn, you're at 10. If you have to reduce some Dawn and you go to 8 or go to 7, I mean, it's just the way that it plays out there. You can go back up to 9 if you end up going to 6 for the turn if you have to reduce, because a lot of things with purple are returning Dawn to your Dawn deck or ramping them out. You have cards like this that will ramp you an additional Dawn from your Dawn deck, and then you have this really nice copy ability from Mr. 2. Or you get, I believe this one's a Dawn, the Queen blocker here is a Dawn -1. So you're returning a Dawn in your deck, but you get to draw 2 cards and trash a card from your hands. You get to filter, and you got a nice little 6K blocker. This thing was an extremely expensive card when I first got out, because it was locked to the starter deck, and then thankfully to PRB, we were able to get some access to it again, and actually make this thing affordable. So we have some great top end here from this deck here. We got the Shanks 10 cost. This is a great rusher. Ever since this thing's been printed, I think most red decks want to run this if they can. Some don't because they want to kind of like play with their math with what they want to leave open for counter cards. But this one just absolutely devastating, especially if you have 2L. But this is a static ability that gives all your characters minus 1,000. Your opponent's characters minus 1,000, excuse me. And that's static, and it stacks. So if you get 2 Shanks out, it's minus 2,000 on the board. You're already dealing with the difficulty of a 6,000 power leader. Now imagine you have to reduce that by 1,000 or stack 1,000, and you're having to dedicate even more Dawn just to even chip at it, let alone do anything else. But as we've already talked about, it is a 3-life leader, so getting that is kind of, you know, important, because where other decks only have 4 or 5, sometimes 6 if you're Whitebeard, but you only have 3 life. You kind of make that stuff count, and you're basically turning a lot of cards that need you to be at 3 life on immediately just by having the 3-life leader. So there's your weakness, and here's your strengths. A lot of good rushing. I love this Sanji, even though this thing has beat me in more games than I can count. This one's an amazing Sanji rusher. It allows you to return a Dawn card to your Dawn deck and then rest a character. So you get or rest one of your opponent's characters. It's absolutely insane. You can get around blockers. You can stop. You don't have to worry about the devastating with Lucky Roo plays or somebody trying to wall up. This is Diablo Jumble in purple, and it allows you to just get around and get some late game swings in. And in the perfect tempo, nice little 7-cost 7K, perfect swing into normal leaders. Absolutely devastating. Of course, would be the last 2 cards I really want to touch on here. 9-cost Secret Rare Luffy here. On play, you may return one or more, and the reason that they say this is because of other leaders that pay off from having more Dawn returned, where you can get that Dawn back and then plus some. Draw a card, and this character gains Rush. So you get a nice little 9K 10,000 power rusher with a draw ability. So a card immediately replaces itself. Extremely powerful attack and really hard to deal with. Finally, I would be amiss if I didn't explain to everybody the most, I'd say, argument-inducing card, because everyone says this card should have been banned during the ban list, especially with the new format that we have coming up with the blue-purple and the green-purple Luffy decks. This one's going to be extremely powerful in both those decks. Dawn -2. This is where I was talking about the leader ability being able to get that Dawn back, just in case. But you Dawn -2, you can trash a card from your hand if your leader's Straw Hat capability type. So this is leader locked, but there's a lot of Straw Hat decks. Up to one of your leader or characters gain plus 4,000 power, and then you draw 2 cards. So essentially, I don't have limitations like I did with Radical Beam, which is what this deck used to play a lot of. I don't even think this one's playing Radical Beam. No. So it used to be Radical Beam was there. You had to be at 2 or less life to get that 4K. Now you get 4K, and you get to cycle some cards to make sure you can get some more counter. And on a 6K body, that's 10K from 1 Dawn. That's not an easy swing. You gotta be focused on this thing. This thing can counter out just about any attack. Scoffer says, "I'm here for the Steelers shirts." Is this one real? This is such a basic farm boy shirt. I've had this one since I was a kid. I actually use this to work on a farm. I'm a little bit surprised if Scoffer wants my farm shirt. Now, if you want my cool anime shirt, I can understand that. Yeah, casual 10K. Casual 10K, he says. Referring to the Monkey Delivery Bar. Yeah, right. Alrighty, guys, these are the 2 deck lists. We have them, and of course, if you want to see these deck lists at your own leisure, you can check it out on Patreon for free. You do not have to pay me. I do appreciate it if I get it, but if I don't care. My point is about getting you guys the content and the really cool things like these, and showcase these really cool deck lists. Can't wait to see it. This was a mainstay for Greg, especially in the beginning, so I know he's an expert at this deck. All Might trying out something new. Really looking forward to seeing how he does with this Limb deck. So, players shuffling up 5 cards. I think they haven't decided. I believe they've decided who's going first, but not if the mulligans here. So All Might not liking it. Greg happy with his hand. Must have seen likely a Searcher. Usually in this red-purple Luffy deck, if I see a Searcher in the beginning, I'm gears, all gears. Let's go. We're gonna see which one of these opponents got to choose the play. I imagine right now Greg definitely likes to be on the play. This aggro type build really enjoys being on that curve and can get up to 10 just as well with leader ability. Lim kind of wants to play 2 because that 5 cost, that's the 3 cost, putting out some 5 cost bodies. I mean, the perfect curve for her to play that 3 Dawn turn is just to basically get to 4 Dawn and get to play a 5 cost. So I think both these players really want to play. going into it. Sauce Mama, thank you so much for the exclamation point join. And Scoffer says, gotta love having a 3:45 a.m. shirt today. Just woke up from my nap. Happy to see you work out. All right, thank you, Scoffer. Glad you're here too. Appreciate it. Early morning, brother. Captain Literal says, I know Porter would scoff at this, but I intend to make a pure green Uda deck at some point, or maybe even red-purple Uda deck. I'm actually looking at the red-purple Uda deck myself. Really looking forward to it. Oh, early morning shift. I got it. All right, thanks. Matt Sopa, let's go. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the chat. Yeah, we got an amazing first round matchup for this manga tournament. And it looks like Greg did get the die roll and the win for it, so he gets to get himself on the play, fighting for it. Here comes the 6K into life, 2K counter out with that Nami. Here comes Zoro ramping out when he can. It has to have some Dawn attached, but it is a nice little ramp card for this deck. Here we go, 4 Dawn. Yep, we're going to see a 6K swing into life. Just asking for a simple 1. Gets it, a 2K, I believe. No, maybe 1K. I'm sorry, 1K. It starting off here, a 3 cost for a 3 cost limb. Going to get the search on. Interesting. Usually you want to see a 5 on this play, but because most of those 5 costs require other rested characters, I can see why this one might be the play that you want to get into, especially given that All Might wasn't able to find his 1 cost in both of the starting hand or the searcher. Imagine that might have been the biggest decision maker for All Might here. But grabbing another Nami, so he can at least 2K counter out of another 6K swing if necessary. 5 Dawn turn for Greg here. Looks like Zoro lasts long enough, so we might see a nice little ramp from Zoro here and attacking board. So gets the additional Dawn. We're going to see if Limb defends Limb and 2K counter. Using the 4 Dawn now to play out a Bonclave to ramp an additional turn. So 2 ramps this turn. Taking that new ramp Dawn to attack for 7K into Limb. Greg just trying to clean the board up. Make sure that there's no threats coming back from this Limb player. And has nothing to defend. However, also leaving himself with nothing to copy for this Bonclave. So, good news is this deck plays a lot of 6Ks. So Bonclave will have a decent body to copy in the early stages. Really, this thing only ever gets is really 1 attack. But I love it because it works as a pseudo blocker. You've got this amazing ability for it to copy any other character in your opponent's ability on the field and copy its power anyways and attack in, and then eventually they're going to like, oh, I'm going to attack into this 1K, just get out the board so it doesn't attack me again. I'm like, cool, thanks. That was a nice little dodge from that attack here. All right, 3 Dawn here, sorry, going for another search, leaving 3 open, so should be able to activate the leader ability. Gets another 2K from the Nami. Trying to play on the defensive here. I'd like to see some offense here from All Might. Here comes 3, likely to activate the leader ability. Yep. Here comes the rest of Dawn. Here comes the Dolphy blocker. So, like we said before, the other play, he needs another character rested in order to activate this, so he couldn't go out with a Dolphy immediately. It just would have been rested and just fodder. So, able to get out a blocker for this turn. Going to be likely necessary considering Greg does have a very aggressive deck here. We got a 7 Dawn turn for the Useless Kid. This one going to really combo well with this leader here. Giving it a plus 1,000. I love this. 7,000 just on a stick for your leader here. Just absolutely devastating to have to do the math for this. And seeing out of the range for some easy swings from leader or even from the characters from All Might's deck. Because as we looked, most of them only 6K, guys. Only 6K power. Scoffer says, I am free tomorrow and Wednesday if you're interested in doing some podcast either of those 2 days. I'm going to be doing live tomorrow for the championship, or not live, but I'll be recording the championship series tomorrow. And on Wednesday, we're going to be doing 3 different events. Yeah, Scoffer, I know when we were talking about it, weekends are pretty much the only time I'm ever going to be free to do podcasts, and it's going to be a limited time. 9 times out of 10, I'm either streaming live or I'm hosting like 6 or 7 events over Lifelink games. But thank you very much for that invite. We'll see. Post this weekend, I should be able to get some free time so we can do it. Thank you, Scoffer. Gatlino says, I am generally off Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Nice. Yeah, okay, I work on mornings, so evenings work for me. It'll be one of those Tuesdays I think we'll have to take, one of those days maybe it's a time off day or there's no content to give you guys. So if it was going to be a Tuesday or Wednesday, it'd be something like that. But Wednesdays, we got heavy with, we're extremely stacked on that day. As you saw, we had the Wednesday standard showdowns. We've got the commander, or we got a book club. We have the, we're trying another event on that same night, and I can't remember what it was, but we're also doing the Fab, and we always host the Fab thing live. And turnout for Fab is absolutely insane. So Those nights, I got 3, 4 events to manage at that point. And Tuesdays, it's just going to come down to whether I have the free time and what we're recording that night. So if I can get someone to actually record the content from there, sure, I could do a live Tuesday. But I got to get someone comfortable that can actually do the recording for that one. Scott says, okay, so a rainy day someday. Scott, I want to call the rainy day. I really do want to have this podcast with you. So I don't want to just throw that off in that dismissive, yeah, when it's raining. We're going to work out some deadline. I just know that this week is absolute chaos, so it's a no-go this week. Scoffer says, I love you, Stream Armory. Same. I really enjoy the content. I love the players, the people out there. A lot of them big jammers for the ProQuest, trying to play for their big events. So it's really nice to be able to host these players. And we got some amazing players. A lot of these people in the Pro Tour and playing these amazing decks. So I really love the fact that the Fab people seem to come out in spades for this type of content, because I think it's a very underrepresented. If you're a creator out there, it's very underrepresented in the field. There's a lot of room for people to put some creativity out there. Scoffer says, I can do it. I have a really good pick. Okay. Captain says, he keeps busy. He will let us know. Yeah, honestly, Captain, I'm going to make this happen. I just need to. There's a lot that has to go into it to make sure that the low works well. And Scoffer says, no, totally get it. I'm hyped for it, but I want to work on your schedule. I appreciate it, Scoffer. And we can make something work. Trust me, I play the D&D, if you guys know, for scheduling. It's impossible to schedule a good D&D event because someone's always going to be absent. I'm too familiar with it. We're going to make this thing work. I'm not blowing this off. I really look forward to it, because you two are a riot. I'd love to see it. Thank you, Scoffer. All right, let's get back in the gameplay. All right, back on All Might's turn. Lim going to eat up that attack. Really the only thing that Lim could have eaten up at that point, because, I mean, this leader's at 7k. Going to take all the Dawn here. Loading up for a Zoro. I don't know if Zoro's going to be a closer at this point, but definitely demands an answer. There's not going to be a Beiji from Life here from Greg. And a 12k swing times 3. Yeah, Greg doesn't have the offensive to put All Might on the defensive here. But, ooh, here we go. This could be his answer. Shanks from the 10 cost, and that might be the perfect answer for Zoro here. We have Useless Kid able to attack now, because it is at 8k now. And using the ability to buff the leader here. Gets a simple 1k. Now Shank's going to come in. This is going to be a 4k difference, guys. 4k difference. So what we're seeing here is the activation Useless Kid returning to Dawn, and the activation leader to make it Dawn active. But still, 12k block going to come. All right. And 7k not going to be enough to attack the Zoro. But if he attaches a Dawn, can attack. So we do have an 8k into 8k. Does All Might have the counter? He does indeed. Instead of 1k from the 1-cost Lim. I'm sure he would have loved to see in the early starts, not this late in the game. Absolutely incredible. Now, the Zoro Zoro has survived this turn. Will it be enough? And what are we going to see from All Might? Are we going to see some big swings? I got to say, the Shanks lowering this to an 8k really screws with the math. However, it does set up itself for a nice potentially 3 11k swings into leader, which will require 5,000 counter from Greg every time he swings into it, given he takes a life. Scoffer says, as a Fab creator, I'm completely agree. There is a massive lack of representation on Twitch. Seriously, there really is. Other than the two of us, of course. Thanks, Scoffer. And ours is still limited. We need to grow this into something bigger. Like, I really enjoy the competition and doing these type of streams like this and being able to give you guys weekly content. But I'd love to give it some more in-depth animation, some really cool storytelling, because it's really one of the things that the Fab does well is you have two heroes that have a great amount of lore, and you can see that playing off. All right, here we go. Big swing here. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 15k swing into Shanks. Gonna return 1. Here comes on the 15. Useless Kid, no more. And the last attack coming into life. Gonna take from Greg. Greg, lucky he went board, I think, at that point. I don't know if going board was the play here, because I don't think Greg could have put up enough to get 5 swings, not with the deck that he has here, and that could have been something to put him on the back foot for lethal, if All Might had something else that he could attack with, of course. There's nothing to shake it up when you got a 15k swing from lead. All right, Shank's going to take care of this one, and a big Luffy hit, taking 1 life. Draw for turn. Greg is swinging big, but I'm afraid of All Might's board. Yeah, I honestly prefer, if you look at it, with those attacks, I don't think Greg would have had much. He doesn't have the one open for his Gum Gum Giant, so he doesn't have much for the counter for those types of swings. That would have put him at 0 life. And then require him to be safe against a limb play here. I mean, if he walls up and puts on the defense, maybe, but it would have forced him to have to either go into defensive mode and not play into the rush, and maybe set up All Might for another explosive turn, because the next turn he can load up that leader 15k swing. Captain says All Might did not have lethal, but it will next turn, and I know that Greg can't clap back effectively. That's exactly what I'm saying, Captain. That's exactly what I'm saying. While he didn't have the game, he would have put Greg down to 0, and then forced Greg to have to deal with a potential 15k swing from lead. That's not an easy thing to block out of. Now, it isn't impossible. I've seen it happen. Trust me, it's been the same. But it is a lot to ask for players to counter out of essentially 10k coming from Greg, even with a 6k leader. Yeah. Exactly, Scott Freck, I 100% agree. And Midnight, good to see you in the chat. Thank you very much. All right, so we got our first 8k swing countered out. Looks like Greg was likely going board with this one. Doesn't want to give him too many resources here. Here comes the nice little rush Luffy from the new Star Deck 21. This one on attack, able to take a Rested Dawn and attach it to a character or leader. Chooses the Shanks, okay, because Shanks wasn't big enough, okay. Really, probably because the only thing left here. We got a 13k in the board. All right. Board is officially cleared. Greg back in it. Has 1 Dawn active, likely for the Gum Gum Giant. If he doesn't have it, the Nami can grab it. We'll see if the Nami search gives... Oh, the 9k rush. So Greg looking like he's going to try and close this game out next turn. If All Might can't respond to this board, we have lethal potential. Here comes 15 into 12. Do we get 2Ks from Greg here? To stop this, we get the Gum Gum Giant. There you go. Having to return to, and on top of that, being able to discard the... This is a discard, by the way, not a play. So we can draw additional 2 cards. That can save the Shanks and set him up perfectly for a 9-cost secret rare Luffy that could be closing this game out right now. We're going to find out. He's stacking it up into piles. I don't know why, considering it feels like the most logical play here for Greg is to just play the 9 cost, and having what looks like All Might on 1 card in hand, the math seems pretty simple to me here. All right, well, yeah, I was gonna say that takes Rested Dawn, not Active Dawn, so want to be able to play something first. Captain Earl, that was a desperation move. Oh, all right. But here we go with that draw and return. Leader effect to get additional Dawn back. Now Luffy able to attach additional Dawn to his leader. Here comes 6k, gets a 2k out of hand. All right, this one no longer going to be lethal, but going to be putting All Might on the back foot, and we do know that Lim can't play Rush. Unfortunately, because of its leader ability, there's not going to be a lot able to come back here. And at 2 life, even with 2 characters he could potentially attack with, I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, All Might just realizes the writing's on the wall. Not able to fight at 10,000, 12,000, 6,000. It just adds more power, an additional 6,000 power. Just not going to happen. Greg takes it down. Congratulations. I would love to have seen how that would have played out if... GG's, Greg, indeed. GG's, indeed. Well done, well played. I would have loved to have seen All Might to see if he would have gone for that big swing with that Zoro into life and seen how that would have played out. We didn't see any blockers, but we don't know if he didn't have any blockers either, because we didn't know every card in Greg's hand. But I think it would have been the appropriate choice given the scenario that we had there. So, you guys tell me. That was just my thinking. I'm kind of shocked he didn't swing with Zoro. Honestly, it just hit the life, get down the life. Like, sometimes you gotta remember, when you're playing against red, aggression needs aggression. Defense is only so good when you know that the aggression coming their side is probably going to be taller, bigger, and ultimately, I mean, it's stronger overall. Red's top end seems to be the best. I mean, the highest attacker that we have in the game right now, Goldie Roger, 13k. I mean, you're having to fight against those 10-cost shanks that reduce the power of all your cards. So when you have an opportunity like that to get those big swings in and maybe put your opponent down to 0, you're setting yourself up much better, especially when you know that your green deck can't rush. You don't have the capability of hitting your opponent the next turn with anything. And that's the unfortunate downside to the green deck here. Ismol says, I was intentionally going board the whole game to starve All Might's hand. Also, even if he went life with a Zoro, I had blockers. Okay, he did have the blockers. See, that was the thing I was questioning about. Like, did he have the blockers to go that route strategy? And I think, it's I want you to take from my perspective here. I'm trying to see, like, what avenue of approach could have been a win con for All Might. And honestly, at the board state and the way that you handled that, because you were cleaning the board quite well every single time, I think his only answer at that point, after having defended and used most of his resources to keep that Zoro alive, was to try to put you on the back foot and try to get you to play more defensive than aggressive. Because that is literally the only way he's going to be able to stay in that matchup. Lim needs you to be a little more defensive so it can set up those turns to kind of tempo you out. It can't recover well, as we just saw, once the board's been removed like that. So, and from All Might's perspective, I think that the appropriate move would have been to try at least this route. As we found out from Greg, he did have the blockers in hand. So it might not have been the greatest answer, but it would have been an answer to what almost felt like an impossible situation. Greg says, by the time he played Zoro, I had 2 cards in hand. Time he played Zoro. Yeah, he had like 2. Yeah, that's what. So the defensive here, after being defended, he doesn't have much left. So that's what I'm talking about. You're all in when on this play, especially if you're going to use that 9-don turn to play out the Zoro, knowing you can't lethal them the next turn. Good plays. Yes, thank you very much, Scarford. I appreciate that. Right down side is we don't have hand cams yet. I know, honestly, guys, I'm working on it, guys. It's gonna be costly. I'm hoping my tax return will come in here and I'll have the setup for it. I saw this really cool camera setup that I can use inside the studio when I've got the wall mounts for it. I just don't have the money right now for finding this. I think it's gonna be $1,500 for this really cool setup. Comes with a really nice app and allows me to zoom into the hands and the side here. Really looking forward to those upgrades. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here because it looks like we're at the 1 hour mark. I'm going to take a quick break, set up the board for the next setup, get caught up on all the chat to make sure the wheel's good to go. We've got 4 more rounds of best of 1. Stay tuned. Looks like it's going to be 2-2-2 or 2-2 coming back, depending on how long these things go. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, get ourselves into round 2 when we get back. And don't forget, if you haven't already, commented or hit that exclamation point join, please, for your chance to win one of these 2 packs, which should have a hit at least at this point. 20% chance, I think is what Kinetic said. 20% chance it should be a hit. Guys, we'll be right back. Thanks for being here. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we are ready for round 2 of this manga tournament. I do apologize about the long break. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer when I'm here by myself. I don't get the opportunity to offload some of the responsibilities of the intermissions and try to get those things taken care of. So I do apologize about that. I'll try to make it as fast as possible for the next upcoming 2 breaks that are going to be coming our way this way. But welcome back here, guys. We got some amazing content ready to go for you guys. I can't wait to showcase what's happening up next. And this one I'd like to do kind of personally because I know a lot of my casters hate this matchup. A lot of them not really big fans of the Nami deck. And honestly, I like the deck. I like the fact that there are people that like to play the certain type of deck and want to play the different type of strategies. And I say shouts out to them. Just because not everyone wants to play the way that you want to play doesn't mean it's the only way to play the game. And what's most important to me personally as a caster for this stuff is to see what this matchup is. Because if you don't want to lose this deck, there are ways to beat it. There are strategies to beat this deck. You personally, as a player, need to know that there will be people that will come and bring this deck. And if you are on the sim and you're out there or out there and playing in the regular and saying, oh, Nami, I'm just going to concede. I don't want to play this matchup. It's boring to me. Well, guess what? You're probably going to lose in a major competitive scene if you don't know what this matchup's like. So I personally like having this on screen so people can look at this, see the matchup, see the deck list, see what the counters are going to be looking like, what they have to do mathematically, how they can count the dawn, make sure they can navigate the turn properly. They want to make sure that they don't get rubber band and that math just gets turned around because they don't realize the +1 on the leader for the turn. Like, there's a lot of really cool things in this deck that you need to know about because there are people that like to play this strategy. This is the same thing in Magic the Gathering when you have it. I know that there's even similar decks in Prism type belts that you can see in Flesh and Blood. I think every single format has one of these types of decks, or sorry, every single TCG has one of these types of decks that go beyond the norm of the game. And really, what's nice about this is it tests out to see maybe there are different leaders that can play a different type of game and see how that fits within the meta. This one may seem, man, I just hate that they're not aggressive. They don't come at me. I'm just constantly throwing face at them. Well, there's cards you can put in your deck to help you with it. There's things in certain red decks we've seen with Sanji where you can take your own life. There's yellow cards where you can take your own life, which will allow you to get those cards that you need to help keep up the tempo and keep the pressure on. There's a lot of things you can do, like in yellow, and just trash life. So you don't even have to worry about attacking into them. There's things I know that, especially like Captain Literal, who loves the Nami deck. The Nico Robin deck. Perfect example of how you can counter this deck because you have ways of getting around needing to go into face, which is what this deck technically prevents. It tries to wall up. It tries to defend itself. And when you're dealing with this, it adds a really neat schism to the game, if you will. It allows you, the opponent, to have to think smarter about their plays. They can't just 7k swing, end of the game, like we saw. I think it was like round 3 yesterday. What looked like a turbo match. Everyone thought I put the camera on 2x speed, and it was just their regular speed. Both players really comfortable with their decks and very comfortable with the format or the matchup. They were playing things so fast. You're not going to have time in Nami to do that. Sometimes you got to step back, enjoy the air, take a deep breath, maybe touch some grass, and get some opportunity to see what this deck list is like. See what you need to do to navigate your turns and think them through, because decisive plays from you will determine whether you win or lose this game. So, well, whether you like it, you hate it, personally, I like anything that has people having fun. And if you're not having fun with some of these things, maybe just change your personality or perspective, because you can make these things fun. Even playing against decks that this isn't my playstyle. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't even like in Magic the Gathering blue players, but I don't want to take the blue away from them because it's their choice. It's their life. And I have to learn as a player that the blue exists, so I have to learn how to play against it. And trust me, when I beat these decks that I'm really frustrated at, I'm super happy. And that means because I put the work in, I put the time in to make sure that I could prepare myself for what could be a devastating matchup. And then I get rewarded for it because I've taken the time to get the reps in to know how to beat these type of decks. Doesn't mean it's automatically going to happen, and sometimes it comes down the line. And we're going to find out today if Claude, coming back with his very popular Nami deck, can represent Nami and bring this into a Manga win. Or is he going to have his hopes dashed by his opponent, Mika Franco, on Bonnie, which seems to me like a terrible matchup for a Bonnie player. Because those who don't know, Bonnie rests things, and one of the things Nami doesn't do swing. So we're gonna find out, looking at these deck lists, whether the Jewelry Bonnie player can change things up and go things against there. We're gonna get into the deck list right now, and Scoffrick, I'll catch up with that in just a minute. For all those messages, thank you for those. I'll catch up with those. I might talk after the stream, after we're done with it today, to show you guys some of the things I'm looking at for rebuilds, because I got a couple texts of like, what about this setup? There's a few setups I've been looking at. Variable says, what's going on? What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Appreciate you out there from YouTube land. Hey, and I'll make sure I added you to the wheel here too, because even if you comment on the YouTube banner or over here on Twitch, I've actually got a new setup where I can actually look at both for messaging, so I can actually add you to it. Variable, always good to see you. Hope you're having a good time with the car shows. Let's get the deck list. All right, here is our Nami deck. This is Claude representing a deck that we've seen on camera several times already. Him, Mike, and I believe there's one other player won't play anything but Nami, because this is a deck that takes a lot of skill to play. We know that there's this Andrew individual that's on social media who did really well and put this in the top place for a massive tournament. And why? Because he put the reps in, put the time in, and he was able to do the math. Yeah. Captain Little says, Nami versus Bonnie, time to go take a nap. We'll see. We'll see. This could be a fast place match. We don't know. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to seeing the interactions here. I know that Claude knows his deck. Does he know his opponent's deck? And I'm really curious if his opponent is one of those that just skips that match that I tell everyone, do not skip. Do not just, not play the matchup just because you hate it. Because you need to learn this matchup. So, what is Nami? Nami has a different win style. Their win is having nothing in their deck. So it's a self-mill deck. This one, when your deck is reduced to 0, instantaneously, this is either time, the minute their deck has 0 cards left in it, you win the game. Right from the get-go. This means you can win on your opponent's turn, you can win on your turn. As long as you get your deck down to 0 cards left, you win. And you can Don +1, have the attack, and if it is successful, trash a card from the top of your deck. Okay, so you can mill 1 card if you're able to get the attack. Something seldom done, because most of the Dawn that you're going to want to see is going to be used for some of these cards. You have, of course, the staple of Akaya, allows you to draw 2, discard 2. Instant way to turbo your deck. You really want to be able to make sure that you get this thing off the board, because there will be a lot of times where they can bounce this back to hand, replay it, add it back to the... And sometimes I've seen some bottom of the deck strategies, which are often pretty good if you can bottom deck, because you're adding to the deck count. However, if you're Kaya bottoming, not great to have in the late game. You really don't want to make sure that they have this as a way out here. Capitalist says, games are supposed to be fun, Jimmy. This game is fun. The fun is a perspective change. The perspective change is I need to learn how to play my deck differently to learn how to match these matchups here. Feeble Rat, good to see you. Welcome back. We have other cards here. This piece that you may trash 2 cards from your hand to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 East Blue type card, which is going to be your events, and add it to your hand, then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. While this is a nice little 2K, and mostly used for a 2K counter, you do have the opportunity to start digging through your deck and trying to get some of these amazing counter cards that you're going to see from hand. One of the ones I always want to be on the lookout here for Rubber Band. Up to one of your leader characters gains plus 2,000 power during the turn. Then you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck. So this is another way for you to turbo through your deck with a nice little counter and a simple 1 cost. And where's the one that gives you plus 1,000 for the turn? I think it's White Snake. Yes, this one right here costs 2. Up to one of your leader character cards gains plus 1,000 during the turn, and you get to draw a card. So this one, White Snake, one of the things you want to be counting and seeing how many they have, because giving the leader 6,000 power will determine how you want to get these attacks off, because you want to be getting out enough that you know that you're going to be demanding the most amount of cards from their hand, even though a lot of them will draw cards in response to doing so. So you want them to, you need them to. Starving the deck, not always the best option, because this deck can actually just turbo itself to the deck without even playing anything. Not to mention, is also not required to stop once it hits its point. So if you say only swing 1 card at it because you just want to get one thing out of it, and they realize that you're trying the strategy of I'll just swing 1 card at it to just demand little cards out of their hand, well, they can activate each one of these counters in response to doing so, and then immediately start digging through to get the answers they want. So you got to be careful. So in how you navigate this turn. The trick is get them to use these things as much as possible and get these cards out of their hand so then you can start going face. And get it as best you can. You got to get them to use these things in areas where it's not optimal. So knowing what these cards do, what the costs are, how much Dawn they have available to them, and what they could possibly play is important for you to navigate this attack. And make sure that you get through this 5 life leader, because you're going to need 6 solid attacks to get through here. Now, his opponent, Claude's, here we go. Tazzy, good to see you, is up on Jewelry Bonnie. A list, again, this is not his list. I did not get his list. So this is something I created from the internet that's been doing really well. It's got a lot of tops in the Bonnie fan rank. So if you're a big fan of Jewelry Bonnie, this is a good list that you can possibly copy, because I've seen this thing put up some great results in the local area here on social media. Won 2 major events, swept the whole tournament, and this is the Jewelry Bonnie. And one of the things I want to talk about this one, most of the time when you see Jewelry Bonnie, you're seeing the typical setup here. It's going to be your Rosinante and you use this kid combo. And it's kind of a small lock, if you will. There are answers to it. You got Big Rocks, you got Divine Departures. A lot of things that get around this nowadays. People have been really teching around trying to get rid of this lock, if you will. But this useless kid has an ability to attach 1 Dawn, rest it, play a character for 3 costs or less from your hand into play, and then for the turn, during your opponent's turn, your opponent has to attack this. So it's not a blocker, but it demands an attack. And that works for all useless kids, so you can't put 2 out and then lock the board down and say, you can't attack either of them because you got to attack this one. No, the rule is you have to attack this before you can attack anything else. So what's nice is it's a pseudo blocker with a nice AK body that requires a lot for you to get rid of it. And if they decide to remove it, you can do things, or KO it, you can use Rosinante to block it. And this one, really interesting, because if a rested character would be KO'd, you may trash this card instead. It does not need to be rested. You can actually have this rested and still be able to activate this ability to protect one of the removal spells from here. In the Smoker deck, you'll see Tashigi, which allows you to prevent the bounce effects, the bottom deck effects, and other different effects that might remove a rested green character. And that's usually the combo lock here. You'll see Tashigi, Uses Kid, and Doflamingo. And some decks actually have been running the Tashigi just because it's a nice 2K and works really well with locking down the board. This is not something we're going to see pretty readily in this deck. I don't think this is going to be the option that you want to use, especially this Don Quixote Doflamingo 10 drop, where yes, it's a nice, beautiful 10 cost body, but its ability to up to 3 of your total opponent's rested leader and or character cards cannot become active during your next turn. This isn't going to be something that's even relevant in this matchup. It's just going to be a nice little 10k body once it gets up there. There's likely not going to be anything rested on this Nami build. So we're seeing a lot of cards outside where I do like this. The Hody Jones is a great answer, honestly, to the starvation you get from Nami, where although you do have to take a life and rest some cards, you can get rid of some annoying pesky problems, like trying to get Kaya off the board and preventing them from bouncing this back into hand. Or get through those pesky little blockers and get those things off the board. On top of that, you get to take a card from your life, which in most cases is very dangerous. But in this format, or in this matchup, very beneficial. Because you're getting that card that you would not have seen, because Nami doesn't waste its time attacking. It doesn't want to give its opponent resources. It doesn't use an attack phase. Not often. It can, if it needs to with the math, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't do it. It just sits there. Captain Lero says the Tashigi Kid Rosinante Defense Network. Yeah, right? That's exactly what it is. Like, you have this overwhelming 3-card combo that says you got to answer the Tashigi, the Rosinante, just to get over my useless kid, and then you have to get over my useless kid. And if I have 2k counters for days, which most of the time I do, there you go. And added effect with the 1 Dawn cost for Jewelry Bonnie here, where you can, after an attack, rest another character and prevent that one from attacking. So really making it difficult to get over this wall if you want to wall up. Now this one, surprisingly, not on the wall lock too often. I mean, look at the numbers here. And this, again, is a list that I found online that's been doing really well. It has the pieces for it, but the likelihood that you'd see it in this build, not the greatest. I do like the use of this 8-cost Rosinante. You don't see it too often. Opponent's turn, if this character is rested, your characters with a base cost of 5 cannot attack or be KO'd by effects. So the base cost of 5 can, so just static 5, your Cavendishes. What else is it protecting? Usually it's Smoker. All right, your Monkey D. Luffy here. So, really nice little card to protect the Cavendish, but this was supposed to be a law protection card. And on play, you may rest this character and play up to one green character with a cost of 5 from your hand. So, you can basically make sure that you can't you can play these Monkey D. Luffy's or Cavendishes, and they can't be KO'd. By effects, by the way. By effects. Captain Mineral says Zeph. There is Zeph builds, but I don't believe there was a Zeph in his build. No Zeph in his build. There is what they call Battle Nami. Zeph is one of the cards that allows you to, that some players play so that you can play that aggro ability. If they surprise you with a Zeph, take the first life and then change up your playstyle. And Captain Little, dead on. Nami only attacks when she has Zeph. Yep, Zeph is pretty much the Battle Nami version of the deck, what we haven't seen for probably over a year now. I think it was even abandoned by the best Nami player in the world, Andrew. So, let's get the deck list, or the time here. This will be our longest match of the day here at 30 minutes. At a best of one, at least we get 30 minutes worth of content. Because most of these matches, I think today, are going to be close to 10 to 15 minutes. Really shockingly quick. But Vic saying, nah, man, we're here for a long game. Let's sit back. Let's relax a bit. Let's think about things. Let's talk about life. Don't do drugs, but I feel like this is the perfect smoker, hint, 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 deck, where you could sit back as smoker, the leader, of course, and just enjoy the time with your friends, and just sit back and have a great conversation. Because you're going to have plenty of time to do it. Especially with Nami out. Let's see if Micah knows this format, or knows this matchup, because I know he's going to have to be changing up his playstyle quite a bit. No walling up in this one. Richie D. Luffy. Wink, wink. Yep, exactly. I think I've covered all my bases there. Love the fact that this game has a smoker, which is one of my current leaders that I use all the time. All right, so Micah set up the life, 5 life, both leaders at 5. Claude not happy with this. So he's going to have to ship his back. Let's hope that he gets a decent hand to keep this game going. I know Micah, probably on camera, I think if I would have turned the volume on right now, he's probably screaming into the darkness or screaming into the void. Ah! Let's get out of this matchup. Me personally, I'd be like, all right, let's see if my knowledge of this matchup pays off and I can get this win. Vic making sure the shuffles are good. One of the things that you really have to do a lot with this deck is shuffle, because you do sort quite a bit for the way that you play through this deck sometimes. And as a person that wants variance in my deck, it gets really annoying when I have to like really shuffle this one thoroughly just to make sure that my deck has a variance back into it. All right, which you sorry, no, looks like we need an ad break. Sorry. All right, ad break coming up here. We'll see. I'm not really going to pause the video because I think that you guys can catch up. Nami's going to give me ample time to allow you to guys catch up on this matchup. Vic, ready to go. 5 life. Micah, good sportsmanship, starting it off with 1 Dawn. We'll see. Do we see Kai play? We do not. Going back. Micah, 2 Dawn. See, could see a Searcher. Could be a good time to play the Baby 5 Searcher if you have it. Maybe find some of your aggressive pieces. Unfortunately, Hody Jones, I don't think it's going to be searchable in this one. But Mike, I think, really hoping to get some Hody Jones plays here. I optimally would see all 4 copies in this matchup here. Going for the Rose Nanti blocker. I don't know if that one's going to see the light of day in use, but maybe as an attacker at some point. I don't know. Personally, I think I just would have kept that in hand. No, I don't know. But here's a body. 1K attack. I did something with my Dawn, I think. Loving the Lakers Dawn here from Micah, too. If you guys are seeing this, this is those new... there's an artist online that's been doing these Laker Dawn. Absolutely beautiful here. Looks like he's got the whole squad. Jinbei to start off. We got Sanji on the top and what looks like the leg of Luffy. I could be wrong. Or the arm of Luffy here. Nope. Looks like a 3-point shot from Brook or Usopp. Can't tell with the hair. All right. 8K swing coming in. 3 Dawn. Seems like a solid attack. Let's see if Vic can counter out of it. Micah hopefully going to get to those Hody Jones in the late game here. Really going to need him. Here comes the first play. It's like getting the extra look at the top 3. Gets to restack him how he wants them. Can't really tell. He put the card on the offside here. I do know it's one of those counter cards for one. See, restacks it, puts it back to where he wants it. Still likely going to need a little more Dawn at all right, yep, more event dedication. Here comes what looked like another mill one plus a couple of counter here. And that's going to be enough to counter out. Back to Vic, 5 Dawn turn. Really difficult. I should have, if I was in their studio, I would have had him put his trash up to visibility. Can't really see exactly what he's playing. Can only guess. You guys at home, tell me what do you think he's playing here. Here's our first Kaya play of that beautiful new promo. Draw 2, discard 2. See if he can get some of those events he's looking for some more defensive plays, because clearly Micah going to be playing just above that 7k swing, which highly recommended, by the way. If you guys are going to be playing this deck, 8k swings are very good math. Harder, demanding at least 2 to 3 cards out of hand. And as I've said multiple times, demanding the cards is important for this deck. You really want to demand as much as possible, because Nami sits in that life as a huge lifeline. It is all it has in its way from being just completely run over. Outside of just every event in the world trying to protect itself from from having to take that life. All right, looking like he may have decided his 2 cards to discard. Likely going to see a pass back from Vic. I don't, unless he's got another Kaya. Oh, maybe. Looks like he's tapping 1 Dawn. Is it another Kaya? No, it's a Nami, one of the new Nami players. From, what was this, OP10? Want to look at that one. Haven't seen that one in camera too often. Let's see. This one here, when attacking, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 blue event and add to your hand, then place the rest on the bottom of the deck. One important thing to know, even though you can attack for 1,000, it doesn't need to land. It just is attacking. So you can use this thing as a nice little searcher. It will likely die in the backswing. And now, making that Rosinante a favorable card here. I think what's neat about this is it works as a pseudo blocker. So yeah, it can attack. It'll do nothing. It won't take any life or anything. It'll allow them to search for an event that they got to reveal. But then it requires them to answer it, because you don't want that thing sitting around every turn and allowing them to search every single turn. And now that Rosinante play actually seems next level. So good on Micah for seeing that putting out some kind of body at least can actually respond to something in this deck. All right, so we got the 6 Dawn turn from Micah. Not enough for the Hody Jones play just yet. Couple cards, Cavendish able to restand some stuff. Good little attack or 2 if necessary. Taking 2, looks like we got a Viola. Another good body here that might be able to respond to the Nami if necessary. And potentially load up for some Dawn. Is that a pass back? Interesting. 3 Dawn and a pass back. No swing. So Micah trying the Starvation. I don't know if I like that idea. You have to be stressing the cards on a turn, guys. But Micah trying something out here. Leaving the 3 Dawn. Could have easily attacked for 8. Demanded 2 cards from hand. Not all the cards are replace themselves. So you don't want to leave them with a thick stack. And especially late game turns. You don't want to give them enough to blank out some of your bigger swings. So 8k swing, personally, from my perspective, would have been the appropriate move here to hit him with. But here we go. Here's the attack. Simple 1k. Doesn't need to counter out anything. Just gets to look at the top 5. Find one of those events. If he whiffs, it'll be a miracle, in my opinion. Considering how many events this plays. Let's see which one he decides to pick up. Revealed it to his opponent, but not to us. That's great. So helpful. This is another call for why we need hand cams. So we can see what this is. Alright, so I guess resting the Dawn to rest Kaya, which, there you go. You got to use the Jewelry Bonnie effect. Congrats. Now has an ability to use both of his attacks to get rid of the Kaya. Like I said, you want to make sure that you... Oh, there we go. Now we know what it is. Revolutionary Army event here. So, if he's able to get it before Claude is able to get one of the bounce spells, he should be able to knock this Kaya out and prevent any kind of late game bounce effects Because like I said, Kaya demands an answer if he can. It seems bad sometimes using like a Ben Beckman or some other trash effect. Getting this thing off the board absolutely important, because in the late game, there's too many events that'll bounce this thing back in the hand and let them replay it. It is by far one of the most efficient ways to turbo through the deck. Alright, now we're at the 8 Dawn turn for Micah. This would be great play if he has Hody Jones. Doesn't need to rest anything right now. Just needs to take a life, get some resources, and put some pressure on. Counting out the Dawn. Oh, nice Brook. That one's a cleared state Brook right there. Maybe the other one was Usopp. Here comes that Hody Jones I was talking about. Great. Gets to take a life, get a resource. Gonna rest some Dawn. Smart. Another thing they can do is rest Dawn, which is important. Alright, 3K coming to the Nami. We'll see if Vic wants to protect this. Always good to get the cards out of hand, especially for this kind of attack. Notably that this Rosinante is going to have a target that can attack. Can attack either of them, actually, because Kai is a 0 power. So, I mean, yep, just Vic going to let it go to the bin. Good call. Doesn't want to dedicate too much. Here comes 9. Imagine this one's coming into life here. Although, if personally, I think I would try to use the Rosinante to kill the Kaya first to feel safe about him attacking. No, he passes back. I don't know if I like this strategy. We'll see how it pays off for him. But it's that moment. It's this is a bold strategy there, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off for him. 9 Dawn turn for Vic here. Micah trying to starve him. Not exactly sure why he even stacked the Dawn underneath the Hody Jones. Maybe just a last minute thought, and it's like, I won't attack. And I don't think he's going to miss the attack trigger, but being able to get rid of that Nami was a lost opportunity. Or, I'm sorry, the Kaya was a lost opportunity. Okay, 5K swing into life here. Looking like if it connects, gets to mill a card. Gets a block. Okay. So, Rosinante down. I think that would have been the only time you could have used that Rosinante was to hit the Kaya. So, interesting play. Variable says, great, now I want to watch Dodgeball. Right? It's a great movie. You should check it out. It's a great movie. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Alright. Passing back, putting out the mom for Nami here. Hody Jones restanding. I feel like there's a missing card here. Am I missing something? What happened here? Oh, it's a bouncer. Oh, okay, it's a bounce effect. I'm sorry. Yep. Sorry about that. Replayed the Viola. Set up a large attack here from Hody Jones. Look like a total of 5, so it should be a 13K swing coming in here. Only Doombot says, how many cards does Nami have left? I mean, that's where I'd love to have the dice. Hopefully he'll put them out. I've tried to talk to Claude several times over that, like, once it gets down to like 20 or less to get some kind of visual representation. I'd say right now that he's got half of the deck left. The graveyard is, or the trash, if you will, is about 1/3 the height of the deck currently. So, our first counter card here looks like Desert Sparta. Get a look at the top, reconstruct it. Vic, happy with the set, resets it back. Still needs more if he's going to counter out. Here comes 2. More Dawn for Level Mellow. Got a draw. Still needs more though. It's a 15K swing. This is 10K. Right now I think he's only represented himself at 5. He doesn't actually have to counter out completely either. That is one of the rules. You don't have to legally counter out. You can just play the cards to mill yourself. Lonely Dubot says, I've only played 2 Namis. One was easy win. The other made me want to pull my hair out. And this is why we watch the matchups, Lonely. This is why. So you know what this matchup's to look like, and you can kind of make it go a little bit faster in your favor. Looks like we had a nice little additional counter in Mill 2. Still not enough. No, 3 cards is not going to be enough for a 15k swing. But at least Mike is finally demanding cards from hand here. Oh. Was it enough? Did I miss that? Interesting. I feel like that shouldn't have been enough on a 15k swing. Was it a 13k swing I just missed it? Alright. Maybe I'm wrong on the math here. 10 Dawn turn, passes back. We're going to Bonnie here. See if Micah doesn't get punished for not getting rid of this Kaya. When he should have. Deck's looking almost 50-50 at this point. Micah rightfully checking through the yard, trying to see what the options are, what cards could be left in deck, and which ones to needs to counter out. You want it, most of the event cards played in here are going to be 4 of, so you can do some basic math. And this is another thing I'm talking about when you're stacking. Your opponent constantly looks at their deck, and they're allowed to. They just restack up and just to get the 4 counts, so you end up getting your deck kind of like solitaire sorted in these matchups almost every game. That's what I was telling you. Like, you got to shuffle like crazy in this deck because your opponent just honestly just it stacks it for you. They solitaire it because they want to know what you're going to be up against. Lonely Dubot says Lakers Luffy Don, cool idea, but yeah, agree. Not a big Lakers fan myself. I'm a Pistons fan, but I do love the over branching of going into different metas here. So second Hody Jones here. We got 11k swing. Hopefully, we're going to see some more big swings here. See if Vic can counter out of it. Vic should somewhere be near 5 or 6 cards in hand, based on what he's given up at this point. We'll see if Vic can get out of this 11k swing. Nope, just gonna take. It's good. That's good. It's good momentum. Let's see. Looking to see if the trigger might be worth it. Could be a Sanji's peel off, which would be pretty devastating. Hate seeing them just get the free draws and I have to pay it. Oh, Snake Dance. Okay. This one, yep. And immediately punished. Immediately punished for not getting rid of that Kaya. And when I say immediate, I'm saying he could have done that a turn ago. It's been a while. This is the way the way it happens. Lonely Dubot says, Bad Boy Pistons are back. I love watching them play. Y'all got robbed. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Right? I love that we keep trying, but I don't think we're respected in the league, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody cares about the Pistons. Ever since we, in the 80s, just, they don't give us much respect anymore. Like, everyone's got all the eyes on the highly paid teams, and we're just trying to play some basketball. Like, the Pistons are all about making sure that we get skill. Skill. Not just, oh, I'm $1 million player with $1 million player price tag. My team cost me $2 billion. Lonely Wolf says, I'm a T-Wolves fan. All right. So understand the small market. Yeah, right? Yep. Absolutely. Don't you love this? We get to watch Nami and we get to talk about sports, guys. Like I said, you get to sit back, wink, wink, as Richie D. Luffy said earlier, and just have a good time with your friends. Have some casual game. Micah should have attacked with the other Hody in that turn, personally. But, I mean, Micah's really just been punished with the way he's navigating this. We'll see if he can win this, but right now, personally, this is not the way I would navigate this build. I don't know if it's going to pay off. Seeing the Hody Jones is good, but I don't know if it's going to pay off for him. Sermon says, what up? Good to see you. DK-ish, good to see you. Can't stay, but I hope the stream is going great. It really is. Thanks, Sermon. Good to see you. DK-ish, welcome back. Appreciate it. Good to see you guys. We got ourselves a fun Nami match. Pretty sure a lot of people are going to go eat some popcorn and come back, but I'm telling you guys, if you don't know the matchup, and you don't see what what's how to navigate against this thing, don't learn from these mistakes, you might lose. I don't know what's going to happen here at the end. I legitimately don't know who wins. I wasn't there for this recording. Thankfully, Midnight was in the studio helping me with recording and getting these matches ready. So I don't know if Claude wins this one, but I got to say, not a real fan of how Mike has been navigating this one. But if it pays off for him, maybe we can learn something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? We'll find out. Telemarketing, of course. It's not a scam call, it's a telemarketer. Alright. Gonna take it. Vic now down to 3 life. We're finally getting some successful swings here. We're gonna see another load up. Alright. Yep, just gonna use these Hodies, I think, every single turn. Just throwing that 13 math at him. 13, 13. See, Vic gonna counter out of this one. Thinking about it, I don't think he should take a life in this situation. If he can counter out of it. Here's 2. And don't forget, he doesn't actually have to counter out just to get the effects if he wants to start milling. So here we go. That card that gives the plus 1,000 for the turn. So is officially at 6. Tapping 1. Going to play. Oh, I can barely see these cards. I think that's a plus 3. So we're at 9. Has to discard, draw a card. Or mill a card, mill 2. Here comes an additional 2 to get the level of Mellow. Draw a card. And I think that's going to be it. It's going to be enough. Just enough for that attack. Micah not attacking with leader. Like, even if you're just going to get 2K countered out, get the card out of hand. Sanji's peel off the play. Nice little draw 3. Discard. Or draw 2, discard. Is it just draw 2? Man. Like, I don't even know every single card from this deck. Like, I play against it sometimes here. With Sanji's peel off here, just draw 2 cards. My bad. Yeah, some of the counter plus 4,000 is battle draw card. Yeah, 3 less cards in hand. Yeah, that was enough from there. On that attack. Now, looking like he's counting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards left for Claude here. 16 cards. Now representing it. Thank you very much. Sep, as soon as he gets down to the under 20 mark, is going to help us with some visuals here. I really do appreciate it. 16 cards left. 4 hits remaining from Vic here. And I think Micah's going to get a little bit punished here. One got punished for not killing the Kaya when he had the opportunity. Drop in. Is it going to be another Kaya? Nope. Another Nami. So he can set up for an attack next turn. Get his deck just 1 card thinner. And pass him back. 3 open. Let's see if he can afford to dodge the 2 13s again. Here comes another Hody Jones. All 3 Hody Jones. It's exactly what I told you he was going to need this matchup here. Looks like we are going to go all out. Low on Dawn this turn for Vic. So Vic, seeing the blood in the water, goes for 8K swings. We're going to see 4 of them. Let's see how Vic navigates his way out of here. Getting real low on the deck count here. Tapping to... Alright, decides to take a life. Here comes the next 8K swing. Tapping 1. Giving it 2 cards and a mill, so down into 15, 14. Cards here. Another 8K swing. Takes it. Gonna need 2 2Ks to prevent this hit. Takes it. Debating on it. Looks like he could have some kind of draw effect here. Interesting. Interesting play by Micah here. Waited for the turn that Claude tapped the most amount of Dawn and then used that turn to basically come out with these 8K swings I was talking to you guys about before. So maybe, just maybe, he might be able to load up one of those Hody Jones with an 18K swing. And Vic might not actually be able to counter out. Or if he does, he can swing 2 more. But got to be all cognizant. Let's see if Again, I'm wondering if this Kaya misplay, not hitting it, is going to punish him here, or if this was perfectly navigated, and you guys can take Micah, take it to the bank with Micah here, and say this is exactly how you should play the deck. Wait until you can get those AK swings and just get those bodies here. Yeah, reminding him that you'd have to take a life for that play from the Hody Jones. This is one of the best cards, I think, in his deck against us. Being able to rest the Dawn and take advantage of the way that this deck works. You also have the ability to rest the Kai if necessary. I think we're at 13 cards here. Or 12. Hey, girl. Good to see you. Yeah, 13 cards. Now on Vic, he's got to try to win this turn or next turn, because I don't think he can actually have enough cards and resources to attack to defend against this much. All right, here's our first. Coming in for the attack, gonna search. Make it 12. Gets to stack the deck the way he wants to. It's one of the more difficult things about playing Nami is you have to know what's at the bottom of your deck, because you have to know what's coming back up. So we'll see how he wants to navigate it. Plenty of events to pick from here. Has the Kaya, which I don't think is yeah, it's definitely not a choice you can have. It has to get effects or get events here. So Kaya going to be towards the bottom of the deck. Something you might want to put like 3 cards or like third from the bottom, so you can guarantee if you can draw into it, you could just drop the Kaya and win. Grabbing Rubber Band. 1 cost, 2k counter, and mill. So should be at 12 now. Just counting it out. Yeah. Back to Vic. Healthy hand. Hasn't played anything yet. A couple of Kayas right now would be pretty busted. Really what you need right now to start turboing through this deck. 1 cost. Get 4 deep. We're going to 3. Sanji's peel off the play. Yep. I'm going to draw 2. Go to 10. Doesn't have a 0 representation, so it's just going to be that for now. Could go 5 and 5 if you want to do it that way. At 10. Send up a 3, maybe another Sanji's peel off. Here's 3. I think we've only seen 2 at this point. Yep, another Sanji's peel off. Going to 8. 8 cards in deck. 4 Dawn left. Seeing should be an 8. He's got 7 reppers in there. Saw a couple of Kayas right here. This could just be it. What's left here? Gonna recount it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 8 cards. 4 cards left, or 4 Dawn left for this turn. Does he have enough for the mill? This is what... Okay. 1 Dawn. For another Kaya. Here's draw 2, discard 2. Down to 6. Let's see if he stacked it up. Because he stacked these Kayas right, he should be able to take this home. At 6, 3 Dawn left. Vic thinking through the counter. How do I get rid of these last 6 cards? A swing from Nami could make it 5. If it connects. One of those things where sometimes it matters. 1 Dawn. Here's another Kaya. That's putting him down to 4. Depending on how he stacked that deck, could be drawn into another Kaya because he's back where he started from that last bottom of the 4. Love that he's got 3 different arts here. He's able to discard these 2 if he can find that Kaya and he stacked it up right. He can Kaya for 2, and then there should be a 1 cost counter that allows him to mill 2 cards and end the game instantaneously. And here's where being punished here on that math by allowing this to be bounced near twice here when he had the opportunity to get rid of it, and he should have. That's the difference in the 4 cards in his deck. Now that's to say if Vic stacked it right here, because these are the 5 cards, he should know where his Nami is. So, did he stack it right? Maybe he did the math like I did with 3 and didn't do the whole math of the deck. And that's where you can screw up too, because if he did it from third from the bottom, the Kai is the 3rd card here. Yep, passing back to Open Dawn. Does he have the mill cards? If I'm Micah, I'm loading up all of these on one hoodie and just saying, do you have it or not? There you go, 18. Do you have the mill? Look into the cards. Tapping 1. Rubber band. Mills 1. Down to 3. Has to discard. Mill 2 goes to 1. I don't think there's anything left in his hand that he can play that can mill that last card. I think Micah just won it. Yeah, just won it. Micah wins on the attack. 18. Didn't get punished. This could have been so much further away from as close as it was had he dealt with the Kaya, but didn't get punished. Micah able to take home the win. Congratulations. Maybe there's something to the starvation. Maybe. I'm not personally a fan of it. That's not how I would navigate it. But I think, honestly, if anything, I think they're looking at the stack at the bottom there. I think Claude screwed up on the count for the card here. So I think he just was 1 shy from seeing that mill. But there you go. Claude, unfortunately, not able to move on this round. Micah with the Bonnie plays in the 3 Hody Jones, the card I told you was going to be most important for this matchup. Able to see it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for round 2. We have 3 more matches. The rest of them are going to be much, much faster than this one. Looking at it right now, I think, what do we have here? This one, barely even 10 minutes. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break from here, and we're going to get into 2 more matches back-to-back after this. This next one going to be really quick. We have our 2-time champion, the one that won season 1 and 2, James K, back on camera with Bluefy, now going up against Garrett. And Garrett, we were seeing yesterday with Lim deck. This is, again, the Lim. I don't have Garrett's deck, so this is one of the decks that we didn't get. But we have another chance to see this green-purple Lim deck potentially take this down. Which one do you think he gets is better chance of winning, Bluefy or Lim? Let me know. Nice win for Luffy, for Bonnie. Sorry, Dubot. Yes, 100%. Congratulations. You got the win. I don't think you navigated it perfectly, but I think you got the win. And I want to say congratulations to our winner here on the Bonnie player. Well done. Congratulations. Already having a blank. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. After I get the board set up, we got 2 quick matches, and then we'll get in the finals. Stay tuned. back to Umber Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D. We are going to get into round 3 of this event here for our manga tournament, the Zoro, the coveted Zoro. We have an amazing set of crew players. We get the next round to set up with our 2-time champion, James K, in the studio playing for this manga tournament. This man is representing himself quite well in every single one of the competitions we've thrown out here. True competitor. Guy travels around playing a lot of the high levels around with J. Wubby, JC, and the rest of those guys. Really high level players. Guys came out. We had people coming from all over. Someone said they came from Florida just to try out both these tournaments. So we had some amazing representation. A lot of guys came in here saying, "Hey, I just got qualified. I'm out here just to get some extra prize support, get some extra training in, because of course I want to get qualified for the Bandai Card Fest that's coming up here at the end of the fiscal year." Fiscal meaning the October season. Like October is when the end of fiscal stops, so those people understand that. So the way the government works, basically, they like to do their calendar off by a little bit. Everybody else, but everybody's coming together trying to out for that coveted first place, maybe even the second place prize support, which was donated by me. The EX box, it's worth about $140. So not bad. Everyone got participation for being here. So even if you didn't do well and you got eliminated quickly, you still got some packs for participating and joining in this amazing event where we got to give away some awesome prizes. And I'm hoping we're going to have much more of this to go. I actually donated some more cards and some more stuff to try to incentivize more of these big tournaments with big prize support on the line, because I really enjoy getting the most amount of people together to play what is arguably one of my favorite. I wouldn't say arguably, it is one of my favorite. This is my opinion. So this is my favorite, one of my favorites. I wouldn't say the favorite, because right now I'm torn between 3 or 4 of them. There's different formats in certain games I like. There's some up and coming growth here. I haven't been able to even play this, but Final Fantasy is another thing that I'm going to take next break. I'm going to show you guys what I got, some of the cards I pulled from this. Final Fantasy is I'm trying to build a deck and see if I can get this TCG to take off. Because one of the things that we do here at Lifelink Games and Humber Pie is to get people interested into TCGs. I've said this 1,000 times, I'll say it 1,000 times more, because I want everyone to know that in the digital age where we're losing more and more of our ability to control and handle and have power over our games, I want people to move to TCG. Because if there's one thing they can't take away from me is your cards. And the cards do have value, as long as the game survives. Of course, so I do have to incentivize the rest of everybody else to play these games with me so we can keep the games going. But at the end of the day, when you have a digital game and all those gotchas and all those annoying little pesky game formats out there that are just siphoning money out of people's pockets, taking advantage of people's gambling addictions, and leaving them with absolutely nothing, at the end of the day, while you can make arguments to the ladder for these, you still end up with something. You have to do the work to find someone who wants to buy the cards or have the cards, but when you go to events like this, it's a good way to find people who are looking for those alt arts and the other cards that are actually worth something. So when you're pulling from here, you not only are getting pieces that you need for your cardboard for your game, but you're also getting cards that potentially have some value, and that value being able to transfer it into cash or game or something. And there is, I wouldn't say this is the most profitable TCG or profitable way to live your life, but it is a way to make some money back on your hobby, which is not something most people can say they do. And not a lot of people can make money on their hobbies. Most of the time it's just a money sink. This one, it can save you in certain situations. There's a story I've told multiple times because it means a lot. It actually applies to this in itself here in the story. The Zoro that is up for grabs today was pulled by one from the store, sold to a customer. Customer had to sell it to the store in order to actually pay for some car repairs. Well, I don't like the fact that they had to fix their car and the car repairs happen, and most people are literally a flat tire away from bankruptcy, and the way that we budget our finances nowadays. The fact that they had something of value to which they could trade in to get the money necessary to fix their car is something else. There's not a digital game on the planet outside of maybe if you have some old school games that you've taken really good care of, and you got the vintage stuff, which then again, that's back when you could own your game, not in the future here where you have different companies that are taking away your right to own the game. As soon as they want to turn on the server, you can't play it anymore. Or they upgrade the system and make you pay the exact same price for the game you already own, which is really irritating. But the way that they do things here, and with this, especially with Bandai in general, is probably the best way to run a TCG. All the pieces for this game, virtually inexpensive. It's like $50, maybe $100 sometimes for some more expensive decks, and you have yourself a deck that you can play within the format. And then if you get the alt arts, you don't need to bling out your deck, but you can. And some people can win these manga tournaments that win the Zoro and have some trade-in cash for something or you might need in a pinch. Stuff happens, guys. But there's one thing that I love about TCGs is you can get your value back with your hobby. And I want to push people in that direction because it's the way I would love to see this hobby turn itself into. Alrighty. So, you good, Kai? You protected the house? Did you protect the house, Kai? Thank you for letting me know someone's probably here. Alrighty. So, we're going to get into the deck list for the next round. Like I said, we got a great deck where we can finally see Lim in the third round. This is going to be an undefeated player from Garrett playing his Lim deck. Can't wait to see how this one looks. Again, I don't have the actual deck list from him, so we're going to talk to one that I did make out that I actually had yesterday. I had some help here from my studio hand. Put together an optimal Lim deck. Oh, great. Of course. Every single time. Sorry, give me a minute. Doing this solo here. Every time. There's always bots. Every single time. I don't want your garbage. But thank you very much for being here with us, with me today, guys. We're going to get into the next round with these deck lists. Let's find out who's going to take home the third round to get into the semifinals. Because only one can go home with that coveted manga. Alrighty, here is the Lim deck. This is exactly the same list I showed you before because, again, I don't have this person's deck list. I wasn't able to get it. And especially in this event, it wasn't required that they submit their deck list, so I don't have any way of grabbing it. But Garrett specifically was one of the ones that had issues with the system, so we ended up losing 2 deck lists during the day. And unfortunately, it was his. Garrett still representing himself on the camera, though. There we go. Still doing well, and we saw him late in the day, so not giving up on this really fun deck. What is Lim? Lim has a leader that requires all of the characters you play come into play rested, but has an amazingly powerful ability where you can take 3 Dawn, rest them, get a rested Dawn from your Dawn deck to ramp out one, essentially, and play a 5 cost or less from your hand. Odyssey type, of course. So, what do we have for those 5 costs? We have a Dolphin, which is absolutely busted, where you have a attacker and blocker all in one, so long as you have 2 or more rested characters. You have a nice little Portgosti Ace here, which can rest some things if you need to get through some blockers with your attack. You have some cards that pop things on play. This Edward Newgate allows, if you have 2 or more rested characters, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 5 or less, then KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with cost 3 or less. Then you have an L, which has an on-play. If you have 2 or more rested characters, draw 3 cards and trash 2 cards for the amazing Graceful Charity, for those that understand what I'm talking about. Drawing 3, discarding 2. It is a replacement card, but allows you to dig for the answers and the card combos you might need for this deck. Then you have Draco Mihawk that has on-played if you have 2 or more rested characters. Set up to one of your rested Odyssey characters with cost 5 or less as active. So you have an ability to restand some of the other characters if you need to protect them. And all these characters, 6,000 power outside of this Portgosti Ace, which is mostly going to be used for its 2K. But it is an Odyssey type that can be played out if necessary for bodies. Then we have the Ido from OP09 on play. If your leader is Odyssey type, set the 3 of your Dawn cards as active. So you're immediately going to get a nice little 13k or 13 or 12 Dawn turn with this one after you play him. On your opponent's attack, once per turn, you may rest one of your Dawn cards and one of your leaders or character cards and give plus 2,000 power during this turn. So you can basically rest it and give it a 2k from just one rested Dawn. Absolutely insane for some defensive power here, especially when you're putting everything out into play rested. The most powerful card and the closer that we're going to see if we can, if it gets out here, is going to be the Roronoa Zoro. We saw this one in round 1. Try to close out the game with board instead, but is still a very powerful card if you can have this thing survive. It will come to play rested. However, if you get the turn and you can load the Dawn up here, we're looking at potentially huge, big 12k, 15k swings times 3, guys. It's just absolutely insane to see this Roronoa Zoro have 3 different attacks, massive Dawn undercated. All it takes is 3 Dawn for you to do it 2 additional attacks. The first one costing 1 for additional attack, the next one 2 for additional attack. And you're just basically having a very powerful green card. This thing absolutely devastating if it gets out there. However, once you play it, know that your opponent knows you're putting them on the clock. So the aggression will come your way once he hits the field. They're going to be trying to whittle you down and end the game as quick as possible because this thing, they know, can win the game. Now, his opponent is James K on Ploofy, the Ramper Ploofy, the original, the OG, if you will. Purple Luffy here with the awesome Luffy Taro, the nice little Onigashima package that came with this, and a lot of powerful cards have been given access to this card, or access to this deck in the last couple sets for sure. I mean, you had the staples that came with the starter deck that was printed, the Luffy Taro, the Zoro Juro, both those absolutely fantastic, able to play each other, or one able to play the other. Luffy Taro, -1 Dawn, you can play up to 1 purple Straw Hat character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand, and then you got this nice little 6,000 power searcher that is an on play, allows you to look at the top 5 cards and look for a Straw Hat character. So absolutely devastating type of combo here. Nice 6,000 power, so when you drop this, you're getting this. You got the most powerful purple card in my personal opinion. This Sanji allows you to rest, return a Dawn to your Dawn deck, but you get to rest a character on your opponent's field, and this card gains Rush, so you can get through those pesky little blockers or set something to... probably won't need to rest too much in here, but maybe if he needs to rest that Don Quixote necessary, maybe this would be a way to get around it and that restand ability. It has some blockers here. It has a nice little restand blocker from the 2020 Chopper we're talking about. And arguably the card that has the most contention in the community right now, the Gum Gum Giant. Dawn -2, trash 1 card from your hand. If your leader is Straw Hat type, so it just means it's leader locked, you get one of your leader or character cards gain plus 4,000 power, and you draw 2 cards. So for the cost of 2, you get 2, but also 4,000 power, and it has no other restriction. Radical Beam used to be the card because it was a 1 Dawn for 4k counter. This one, here you go. Here's your purple version of it, and this one able to filter through the cards to get some of the counter you might need. I've seen times when they need to discard the no counter stuff just to get some 2Ks to end up defending properly on that turn and turn the tide back on their turn with some aggressive characters. So this is a very fast ramp deck trying to get into the Secret Rare Monkey D. Luffy deck. So we're seeing some massive aggression versus a Limb deck that wants to play tempo. We're going to see which one of these strategies ends up being successful in this very fast 7-minute match. Don't blink, you might miss it. Let's get into round 3. Guys, James K apparently not happy with his hand. Garrett is happy, so we'll see if that makes a determination for this best of 1 here. Sometimes I really hate it when you just have one bad hand and that costs you the entire match. Devastating. Do you want to remind everybody to hit that exclamation point join if you want for one of the 2 free packs we're giving away at the end of the stream? We have no hits from the community box yet, so hopefully I'll be giving out some hit. It'd be nice if I got to give away a manga here. How appropriate to give away a manga in a manga tournament. Let's see if that happens. Be interesting. I think this one is the Relay too, if I'm not mistaken. So where if I had my co-host with me, we go back and forth and ask. All right, 5 Dawn set up Luffy. Here we go. Limb got the play. I know both these want it. Limb comes into play, of course, on taps because of its ability. And now we have the perfect setup for Garrett. This is exactly what Garrett wants to see. That Limb, absolutely devastating to protect some of your cards here. But looks like we got a simple 5k with a 1k counter from the Useless Kid. Here comes 3 to bring out a Sabo. Okay, so this is one that wasn't on our list here. Sabo able to restand itself here. Perfect start for Garrett here. Just putting out some massive power and reutilizing that leader ability. Should be at 4 Dawn, if I'm not mistaken. I love that he's using the cheap Dawn. Doesn't really care here. Yeah, Captain Literal, I was just thinking the same thing. Basic Dawn? Is that Basic Dawn? Now, James K has the foil ones from the starter decks, but the Garrett, I think, is on Basic Dawn. Now, noticeably, it is one of the ones from the starter deck because it does have the greenbacks. So I know that that's the difference. If it has commercials, it's from the packs. Like, they have those little advertisements in the back of them. But yeah. Doesn't care about money on this one. He says this is about this. James K put his Basic Dawn user into the ground. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So we got simple ability to remove the removal ability, as we expected from the 1k cost. So this killer not going to be able to do much, unfortunately. Let's go. All right, Dracula Mihawk needed that rested character. So I'm sorry, the one of the things we missed here, it was an attack from Limb because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But the 2 rested ability is needed. So the Dracula Mihawk comes out, Lim's rested, it's rested, it gets to restand itself. Trying to ask if we take the move back. Yeah, okay, it goes for the Graceful Charity version. Okay. So instead of need that Lim to be rested so he could get the Graceful Charity Surge here. Interesting, he didn't want to just attack with a Sabo to get some pressure. Maybe he's trying to starve the Luffy. Not something I would recommend trying to do against Luffy. Don't want to starve it. You want to put some aggression. All right, so here comes 6K. Basically, I guess playing the cards out because he wanted to know how to navigate his turn. I'm assuming. Not great to play cards that don't impact the board state. I think yesterday we found out in the last game, playing out cards into potential triggers, not a great strategy, but sequencing, who knows? Maybe it doesn't pay off for him. Mad Sopa, welcome back. Good to see you. Exclamation point join. Thank you very much. All right, Lim attack. Looking like if he's going to get the 1K, gets the counter. Now playing out Lim for free. Oh, Lim for 3 for 3. Yeah. Doesn't even need the leader ability here. Or can't use it because he already used it for the NL. So, ramping up pretty fast here. But Lim going to get a search, grab a Nami. I don't know how many times we've seen the Nami search right off that. Get a nice little 2K in hand. Pass him back the turn. Going to get the restand from these characters. Let's go back to James K. James K has already taken 1 life to ramp out 1. We'll see if he ramps out yet again. It's funny to see this ramp versus ramp, and I think right now Garrett is winning the race here. Just because he was able to win the play and able to ramp out so much faster. All right, here comes the Sanji, going to return to Dawn, rest a Lim. And we're going to KO that other Lim to get rid of that because of that ability for KOing. Here comes Kid Killer, going to attack into Lim, see if we do have the counter in hand. And notably, we do have the Warnor Zoro. All right, Luffy coming into Lim. James K just trying to control the board state. A good strategy against this deck. Really good strategy. We saw it pay off really well. But 7K not going to be enough to take out a Nal. 2K counter from the Nami. Going back to Garrett. Garrett should be at the 9 Dawn turn. Perfect turn to play out his Ido. Or if he wants to put him on the clock. I don't know if I'd recommend putting out the Zoro this turn. Mostly because, like I said, you're telecasting to your opponent. You don't want to give that information. You could see a rush Luffy coming back from here. We got 6 coming into life here. This one going to be a take. See if we get another 6 attack here. Nope. Going to go to the Zoro. Here comes 6. I see. This is a bad sequencing from Garrett, but not going to be punished. Bad sequencing. You don't want to put out the Warnor Zoro before you get the attacks out there. If that had been anything that could have removed it, I know this isn't blue, but you got to be really careful with those triggers, guys. And the sequencing matters. Even if you don't think you're going to see something, you play to the game every single time, guys. You want to play the game the same way you would in most other games, the optimal way, to get the sequencing right. Because once you get lazy, you make mistakes like the championship game we saw yesterday. Here. All right, big swing here. Looks like we got a 12K into Warnor Zoro. Like I said, demanding an answer. Can he defend out of it? Here's 2 for 11. Here's 2 to 14. Or 13. 13 from 12. Yep. That is going to be enough. Get my math here, right? So now James in the tank here can only swing 8. Not going to be enough to get over the Zoro. All right. We're going to snooze this one real quick. Because this one's going to be a fast matchup. Trying to get me in an ad break. No, thank you. All right. Gets another loaded up attack. Just 1K countered out from the Trafalgar Law. Unfortunately, he had to take a life just to get the Dawn necessary to swing the Zoro, and was not enough. Yeah, oof indeed. Right, Captain? Just not able. We got a 5 into 1. Simple counter out of here. 6 into life. Are we going to get... Ooh, he's looking really light on counter here. James, really light on counter. If he sees the blood in the water, I'm pretty sure this is going to be it for it. Yeah, loading up here. This Garrett's just loading up this Zoro. I think he's got the game here. This one, an easy take. And there's no counter, no Dawn left. He has no Gum. Look at the bricks in that hand. Second swing alone is going to be enough to kick this thing over. Yeah, Garrett. Seeing the line, seeing the game. That, like I said, guys, blink and you miss it. Lim with the most aggressive ramp ever. Absolutely devastating this Pluffy deck. Wow. That was incredible. Tazzy says, but he needed 3 tap to get the extra card. That's what he played the Zoro first. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, Tazzy. Yeah, you're talking about the Sabo play. Sabo wasn't in the list, so it was one of the ones I wasn't really on the radar here. But I see now what you're talking about for the needing the 3 tapped here. My bad, Tazzy. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that, actually. Yes, what Sabo, like I said, I didn't have his deck list, so I wasn't even thinking about the Sabo effect here. No, Tazzy, I don't apologize. I love it when I get corrected because I want the best information being presented to people. So here I am running my mouth about don't play into counters from life here, and you're telling me that he needed to do it just to make sure he had the activated ability from Sabo. So yeah, that is a fair correction. This is kind of why I like having like studio people. They always correct me when I might make them misread. And likewise, I can check them too, so we can bounce ideas off of it. So really, honestly, thank you, Tazzy. Appreciate that. Captain says, disown James K from Purple Community for losing to a Basic Dawn. I don't want to do that. James K is our 2-time champion. I can't do that. I can't do that to the poor man. The guy's like a huge representative for the team. Guys, I'm going to be setting up the board state while talking to you. You guys are welcome to chat to me. That game was so fast that blink you miss it. And the next one is blink and you miss it again. Ooh, but Garrett back on camera, so not making life a little bit easier for me. We'll see if Garrett can make the 2-time chance with this. But he's going to be up against another aggressive deck with Shanks. So, and Gibby, who was on camera during the regionals, or I'm sorry, the nationals qualifier. So this deck list is going to be good for Gibby. Garrett, not so much, because clearly I don't have a Sabo. Actually, I want to make that fix right now. I'm going to add some Sabo. No, reset it. Okay, I set it out in an email somewhere. Why did you reset it? That's so lame. I clicked to the link and it literally switched it over to a Shanks build. What are you doing? Is this it? No, that's the Ploofy. Oh, that's the Bonnie. That's my Smoker deck. Still my Smoker deck. It's a Gecko Moria deck. It's my Smoker deck. Oh man, where did I put this thing? No. I know I put it in the chat. Or in the Patreon account. Gotta find the Patreon. Let's go here. What happened to that deck list? Library. Now this, I gotta use my own. I gotta use myself as a reference just to make sure I can get this stuff right. Alright. Does the link not work from the chat? Interesting. Or do you hit the link? Save. There we go. Got it back. Alright. Catch up on chat here. Thank you. I take from you your championship, your title, your deck, and you cast you out. No, Captain Literal, no. He did his best, but that Zoro play is just so strong. Captain Literal says, I think Lim has been rising the meta as of late. Honestly, it has, and we knew it was going to, because we saw the releases for this event, and I kept telling you guys this deck was good. We saw the Asian meta. It was a good deck. It was putting up results. Like, I knew as soon as OP10 dropped, this was going to be one of the decks to look out for, because it is a very strong deck. Playing with some very strong cards. And Tazza says, yeah, it's so nice trying to decide from Lim or Bello. Yeah, Bello Betty is just one of those decks I like to use if it... I know this can be a quick rounds and I want to just see if I can high roll. I don't want to think. No offense. Like, sometimes it's just nice to just jam some cards, you know, jam some games and try to hope that I high roll for 3 rounds with the best of 1. I don't know if I do it to a 5 or a 6. A little more risky, but I mean, you can high roll with it. That deck is incredibly good. If you can win the die rolls and you can get the Crow Man on curve every single time, gosh, that deck is absolutely devastating. And it's fun to play around, but it is kind of, honestly, guys, it is a no-brain deck. It's like, load up here. I put out 2 characters. Hopefully, I get out my Crow so I can get your leader down to 4 and 3,000 power, and just swing in for these massive 8K swings and say answer it, and most of the time they can't. just ends the game, especially with if 4 life leaders become a thing again. I think Bello Betty is like, that's where it thrives, which is why you're seeing Bello Betty thriving in the current Asian market right now, or the Asian meta right now. A lot of the decks are purple and purple green or purple black. No, was it green purple and blue purple Luffy? Sorry, those are the two that we're seeing the most out of, and those 4 life leaders. That's where Bello Betty is going to thrive right now. I think she's been sitting sidelined because most leaders in a format, Doflamingo, Shanks, Blackbeard, even some buggy players, the Bonnies out there. A lot of people playing the 5 life leader, and that's really just 1 life too much for a Bello Betty deck. So personally, that's the way I see it. Bello Betty, as long as the 4 life leaders are in the meta, she's going to be a menace and something you got to worry about. Other than that, all right, that's it. I get off from this high horse. Let's get ourselves into the next game here. We have Gibby's Shanks versus the Lim deck, and again, I want to edit this here and get that Sabo in here so we can take a look at it now that I know he's playing Sabo and I don't miss that. Add to here, go to deck stats. What do we minus? What do we get rid of for this? I didn't see any Uzahachis. So yeah, alright, let's get the deck list and we'll cover the things I missed. Alright, this deck list may be a little bit closer to what we're going to see, because I definitely didn't see any Idos. Saw this Rono Zoro, saw the rest of these Odyssey cards here, but Sabo was the one I was missing from here. This is a really nice card here, 5 cost, 6,000 power, just has static Odyssey capability here, but this one, if you have 3 or more rested characters, draw a card. So, and on attack, of course. When I screwed up the last matchup, and thank you, Tazzy, for pointing that out, there needs to be 3 rested characters in order to get this draw ability, and that's what we saw, and why we saw the Rono Zoro played out into what could have potentially been a bad trigger, but no, it was to make sure that the draw effect was active for the Sabo. So, getting back here, I'm sure most of you guys already know because I just went over this deck list, but this is what Lim does. All characters come to play rested. You can rest 3 Dawn to play a character of 5 cost or less from your hand, Odyssey type, and rested, and ramp 1 Dawn rested. So you want this deck to go first, almost always, so you can get out your Lim card in the early days to get some extra protection. This card definitely synergizes at Dark Lim. Here, once per turn, if this character would be removed from from the field by an opponent's effect, you may rest one of your Odyssey type characters instead. And at the end of the turn, set up one of your Odyssey type characters as active. So this one constantly being able to set things back up and allowing it to dodge some kind of removal if necessary. So just able to restand a lot of good cards here that you might want to have protected to kind of counteract the Lim effect, if you will. And then on that 3rd Dawn turn, now you're playing 5 cost characters. And these 5 cost characters can be a blocker that can attack and block. You can get out things like this Port Gasti Ace if you want to rest something. This is okay. Most of these things you gotta have 2 or more rested characters to activate, but you can rest a 5 or less to get in for to get around a blocker if necessary. You've got the Graceful Charity that needs 2. This one draw 3, trash 2. Then you have a KO. This one rests a character and it KOs a 3 cost or less. And then of course you have the Draco Mihawk that restands itself, or a Odyssey card if you have 2 or more rested. So a lot of these cards kind of like counteracting what the leader puts them into. The most important card to take home from this one is the Rono Zoro. This is going to be the finisher. When the blood is in the water, Rono sees its prey, and it comes out a swinging, usually with about 12, maybe 15k power, 3 times in 1 turn, which is a lot of counter to ask for 1 opponent, and usually is enough to close out the game, as we just literally saw against this Pluffy deck. This able to kill on the 2nd swing. Didn't even need all 3. Got in the 2nd swing with a huge attack, and just all those bricks in James K's hand was not able to defend against it. Did try to address it, did the right thing to try to get it off the board, because once you see it, you got to get rid of it, because if you don't, you're not going to like the turn that it has to follow. Now, we're going to see if there's going to be enough time in this Lim ramp deck to see this card, because they're going to be going up against another aggression deck. This is Gibby's list, his actual list, that he played and did very well in the regionals, or the regional championship qualifier, or national championship qualifier, if you will. The one that we just had for the store championship. Shanks, we've seen this deck. This is the rush version of the deck, not the control version. We've seen the control quite a bit. We have quite a few control players around here. How can you tell the difference? Usually if they have a building snake, it's control. Usually if they have the Edward Newgate, it's control. But by the time you see an Edward Newgate, it's almost too late. If you see them play Hongo early, it is likely control. That thing is mostly a 2K counter, 9 times out of 10. But if they need that attack reduction, that power reduction to remove things, Hongo Bongo is the man that brings it back. This build, playing the Yasop ×2, good addition. I really like at making my leader 6k power, especially with the ability to reduce the attack once per turn. So really making the math hard for my opponent. Especially with cards like Shanks. This 10 cost Shanks being able to reduce all of your opponent's characters by 1000 power. This does stack and it counts on at all times. So while this thing is active, or I'm sorry, while you have this on the field, you have a minus 1000 to all the characters. If you have 2 of them, it's minus 2000 and 3 and 3000 and so on. You could have all 4. You pretty much won by 3. Let's be honest here. You're not going to see 4, but who knows? Maybe they had blockers for days. And if they try to wall up here, you've got a card that I highly recommend most people get into. This is the Gold D. Roger. This one, either player is at 0 life. They can't activate blocker, because if they do, they lose the game. Great card. I finished quite a few games with this card. I'd love to show live on stream with Captain Literal just once to show you how much this can win. Playing the one of, always great to have. Love to see it when you need it. Other notable cards, this Tony Chopper is absolutely insane. It demands to see play in red. It's a blocker, it's a 2k counter, it goes to 6k power on your opponent's turn. It's absolutely gross. Just, in Smoker decks, it's a 7k. This thing, absolutely the best 2k that they put in a long time because it has so much versatility in any deck. Otama, great 2k counter, but really only good against decks that care about the reduction of power. This one, it can be a 2k counter and it can be a blocker. I like it. It answers 2 different types of the game state that you want to be looking at. And for a cheap 4k for a 6k blocker, or 4 cost for a 6k blocker, really good. And of course the other 4k, or 4 cost blocker here, the devastating leader locked Lucky Roo that when KO'd can KO to a character with a base power 6000 or less. This means doesn't matter how much Dawn you put on it. Doesn't matter what you do with it. The base power 6000, get it going. I want it out. Get going. No more of you. Alrighty, so here are our decks, 2 rush decks, and as accordingly, we're going to see 11 minutes into this match, and we're going to see which one of these can take it home. Before we get into our final match of the day, are the person, one of these 2, going to be representing themselves to try and fight for the manga card, Gibby or Garrett, who is going to represent the last little bit. One thing I gotta say, you laugh at the basic Dawn. Look at how beat up this Shanks is. This Shanks has seen, I think every Shanks in the world has seen better days than this Shanks. This thing is beat to all. Yeah, like Gibby just coming up was like, I don't care. Just give me something from the bottom of the dollar bin. All right, Garrett, Gibby, happy with our hands. Garrett apparently won. Gets to play here. Starts off exactly like you like to with a limb. Put into attack mode, just kind of skipping steps because it's just going to restart itself. No issue. 2 for Asanji. Good. Able to get some early aggression on with Asanji. This one can be able to take a life and make it a 7k swing next turn if he wants to. Taking 2 Rested Dawn and equipping it to it and making it a 7k swing. So, Gibby definitely playing for the aggression play here. Sacrificing life for that aggression. I don't know if he's playing Basic Dawn, honestly, because he kept it off. This Limb player is playing Basic. So here comes the Edward Newgate. Here's the answer to it. 2 rested characters, and there goes Sanji. So that aggression already being turned off by Garrett. So we'll see if Gibby can come over this Basic Dawn. I think Gibby has some pretty expensive Dawn, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. I gotta re-pull up the video from yesterday. I remember Gibby's Shanks being beat up. I remember that much. Captain Literal says, battle hardened experienced veteran leader card, basic bland wimpy Dawn. No, it's a Shanks Dawn. See, now we get to see the Dawn. That's Shanks Dawn. It's a theme Dawn. So not the basic Dawn you're seeing from the limb, but you're getting some Shanks Dawn. Nice little play here on the 4 Dawn turn. We got a 6k swing and a Sanji play after. All right, here comes 6k into lead. Asking for 2k. Gibby takes life. Looks like the debate in the 5k swing will just be negated by the Shanks leader here. So Probably thinking about how he wants to navigate this one. Looked like he did have a Mihawk in hand. So, oh, here comes a big 8K swing. Definitely doesn't want to get an easy counter out. Gibby just going to take. Could be a sign that Gibby's low on counter. We'll find out here. Going to ramp out. All things going well for Garrett at this point. Going to come out with, it looks like a Mihawk here. Captain Lewis says, oh, I accidentally won a game on Commander in Magic the Gathering with a single card last night to tell you about it later so we don't distress. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, Mihawk going to be able to restand itself, and Lim going to restand the Edward Newgate. So both these characters are not going to be vulnerable to attack from the Shanks player. Here comes Yasop, going to make the leader 6K, make it a little bit easier for these 6K swings coming back. So they're going to have Vested Dawn if they want to get through to demand at least a card from hand. Here comes 7K swing from the Sanji. This one gets +3 during his turn. Asking for 2, gets 2. There comes the Sabo and the Portgas the Ace. Resting 3, likely gonna, restand the Dawn. That's gonna be the turn. Back to Garrett. 9 Dawn turn for Garrett here. Man, this deck ran so fast. All right, 6K coming into Sanji, gonna give him the additional resource because Sanji has a draw trigger on death. Newgate pushing 6, asking for 1, gets it. Here comes Roronoa Zoro. Can Gibby answer this Zoro? We need a response now because right now Gibby hasn't been defending much of anything. So here comes what looks like a beat up busted Dawn here. Not exactly knowing what's happening here with this busted Dawn here. Complimenting the fact that he has busted Dawn. You can't win, Captain Literal. Yeah, they all got some really basic Dawn. That one looked sleeved and beat up. Just absolutely. All right, here comes big swing. Yes, dedicated a lot. And no, counter from Garrett. Answers it appropriately. This could be enough for Gibby to get back in the game. 2K counter from the leader swing back to Garrett. Garrett at 10 Dawn. No longer has it. Didn't have the defense. Looks like he had some decent counter in hand, but not enough for what was essentially 16K swing. All right, 6 going into leader. Gets the 2K. Lim loading up for 6. Does he have another Roronoa Zoro? No. Separating it apart. Looks like he's going to use the leader effect to get a 5-cost off of Mingo, so he has a blocker out this turn. And Sakazuki able to answer the Yasop. Going to return 2 back to standing using Lim and Doflamingo's static ability. Here comes the 10-cost Shanks. Reducing the power here, 5-5. Asking for that 2K counter. Nope, gets the Sabo out of hand. 12 coming into, imagine, board state at this point. Needs to clean up this board, but at least has something to reduce the power of this board. The Sakazuki down to 6. All these characters down to 5. Newgate hits the bin. Back to Garrett. Garrett at 2 life. 10 Dawn, 2 cards, or 1 card, now 2 cards. Only has Usohachi in hand that we know of. We don't know what the other card is. Looks like Garrett gonna have to play aggressive if he wants to get through this. All the Dawn likely gonna be dedicated to attacks unless this draw is substantial. Gotta figure out what he's got. Looking like he's putting 200 for the 7K swing. No, 200 for the 8K swing. 8K coming into life. We'll see how Gibby responds. Gives a 2 and a likely... No, here. 2 cards from hand. Here comes another 8K swing. Gets a Bad Banner's Kick Course from hand. That gives him 9. So, discarding appropriately. Asking if he used leader. I don't think he needed to. Here comes 9K swing. This one gonna connect. But now, Garrett left out with not many options, looking like he could get a 9K swing. If Gibby is able to control the board state, get this back in his favor next turn, this could be lights out for Garrett. Garrett very low on counter cards, so easy math here. Goes to Trafalgar Law play is at 1 of. Now we know we're going to have to know both cards. One of them an Usohachi, 2K counter, 2 2K counters. Nami going to be the second 2K counter out of the hand. Doubt we're going to see anything but an 8K swing here. Garrett thinking this one through. Sets up for a 6K swing with 2 back. Is he bluffing something? Imagine... No? Oh, I'm sorry. Going to play the Nami. Interesting. Making the math a little bit easier for his opponent here. Going to restand the blocker using the Doflamingo effect. Hadn't used... Yeah, there you go. Sakazuki going to be used by the Lim effect to restand itself. So here we go. 10 Dawn turn back to Gibby. Does he have anything? Neither player is 0. Here comes Rayleigh, going to clean up some of the board here. -3 to the Sakazuki. Or, with the additional help from the Shanks, going to be enough to reduce it. Gives the reduction power back to Dracula Mihawk. Makes the attack very easy to get into. And back to the turn. Garrett not willing to give up the blocker at this point. But now, Garrett with just the blocker attacker and leader. Usohachi looks like he was going to counter... Oh, it's leader effect. Counter on the leader attack, sorry. Things are moving so fast I was missing what it was. Usohachi last card in hand to block the leader effect. Attack here. Garrett down to 1 card in hand. 10 Dawn. Has a potential for 3 of these attacks. We could even see a limb attack to try and end the game, but we don't know how strong Gibby's hand is. Math is going to be a little bit harder on Garrett's side of the field, but does have some characters that could be doing some math here. 7k swing into life, asking for anything. Looks like Gibby almost quick to get the attack. Might make the math a little bit easier. Grabs, takes life. Capital says if Garrett doesn't clean up board or do lethal, he may be dead. 100%. I think the lethal is the only answer right now. He doesn't have enough Dawn to even threaten the Shanks. This Nami at 1k, this Nim at a -1,000, and this Don Quixote, Don Flamingo at 5. Like, just to even try to go after board is insane here. We got 6k swing into life. Could use leader effect for 1. Decides to take. Knows his opponent only has 3 Dawn left here. Can attack with the limb. Can come in for an 8k swing. Has the counter for the 8k swing. Yes. Back to Gibby. Had exactly that. Oh, there we go. No blocker because of the Goldie Roger. We're going to see Goldie Roger close the game out. Really comes in for the attack. Can't be stopped. There's no hearts in hand for Garrett. He knows he can't use blocker because Goldie Roger's on the field. GG. Captain Literal, we did it. I told you this card is the truth. And we get to see it on camera. Live. Goldie Roger off the top to end it. There we go. He did it, Captain Literal. Like I said, this card, the one of, the closer, takes the life. Maybe even took the life because he wanted to be a 0 to make that the play. Gibby is moving into the finals against Greg, our first-time winner. Guys, we have got our final matchup lined up here. Greg, congratulations going into the finals. He's been winning off camera. We saw him round 1 with a red-purple Luffy deck. He won the first manga tournament we came in here. Now he's back in the seat to try to win 2. Could it be the twofer, or will Gibby win it with what is an epic conclusion? Congratulations, Gibby. That was huge. Winning it with the Goldie Roger. I wanted to see it on camera. I wanted, especially Captain Literal, to see it. Really wanted you to see it so you know what I'm talking about. The card is so good. Dazzy says, what a draw indeed. I couldn't agree more. Captain Literal says, I fully believe he took the life to Roger. Yes, the same here. I've done it enough times to know that's like, I can count out of this, but my Roger's not alive. Little Pound Case says, I'll see if I can find out. Oh, yeah, we'll see if you can find out. If he wins the tournament or not, or I think, which question is you trying to find out? But guys, great matchup. We're going to take a quick break here. The next one is another Blink If You Miss It. This is going to be best of 1. We wanted this one to be best 2 out of 3, but it got a little confusing on the side. Unfortunately, our only other undefeated lost on the pair down and didn't allow us into a 6th round. So we only have 5 rounds for this tournament. Greg and Gibby are going to go head-to-head, and we're going to find out of these 2 players which one's going to take home the coveted manga tournament and which one's going to come home with an EX box. I do have some studies, some updates for you guys and some news on that. And of course, at the end of that, we're going to give away 2 packs, guys. So stay tuned. If you haven't commented yet, please do so, because I'm giving away 2 packs and the hits haven't been taken yet. Maybe I'll give away a manga on a manga tournament. It'd be apropos. I'd love to see it. But until then, we'll be right back.
I can see all the feelings rising. There we which we cannot see. They still shine if we disbelieve. Lonely gems in the canopy, burning bright, just like you and me. Glowing embers of our distant.
And welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and today we are getting into the finals. Guys, this match, I know I make a lot of jokes about blink and you miss it. This one feels like a blink and you miss it. This is going to be our finals match. It's going to be Greg versus Shanks. Both these decks very rush heavy, very fast. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes for this round. I could turn this into like a clippable YouTube or TikTok video just from the length of this gameplay we're going to see. We're going to talk about the deck list. We've already seen both of them already. Gibby, of course, playing with the Shanks build, and of course we saw the first round one, Greg. So we'll go over it briefly, show you guys what it is, and then of course we're going to get into the pack giveaway. So as soon as we find out who's going to be our champion, got to get that picture loaded too, by the way. I almost forgot about that. And this is where having some extra help sometimes really helps with making sure that I get those pictures right. Where did I put those things? I know they're around here somewhere. Let's search. Yep. There we go. I was able to find it. All right, looks like we're on an ad break, so we'll get started here with the deck list as soon as the ad break is over. Got the picture loaded. Got the wheels set up. Midnight. Don't forget the name. I forgot. Oh yeah, I did. I actually spent the time during this break to put the overlays because the names in here were not correct. So I did fix the names for the overlay. Thank you, Midnight. I appreciate that. Yep, there's one of the things where I was hoping I didn't miss that, and thankfully I remembered in time. So I did fix the overlays. I got the things looking great. It might look a little weird because the box is over top of a box. Trying to represent because the names weren't correct. But I put the names where they need to be. We have Greg representing where he needs to be. Gabby representing where he needs to be. We're going to see this. Let's get into the deck lists here in about, 30 seconds still? Okay. Well, I got time. Maybe we'll just listen to some tunes. But got the deck list ready. We're going to wait for the commercial break to end. And we're going to get into our last match. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Like, pay attention. I will be focusing only on the match. It's 5 minutes, guys. There's going to be so much happening. I don't even think I'm going to be able to cast fast enough. A lot of people say I speak fast, and I don't even think I'm fast enough to speak at how fast these players are going to be playing this game out. Just at 5 minutes alone. So, that is the indicator that it's like, and we're done. I felt like these guys were trying to play a timed match with the, what is it, where you get the Cubics thing, where you're trying to go as fast as you can. And there was that one kid that was able to just go like, done. Alright, let's get the deck list. Alrighty, here we have Greg's deck list from round one here. Oh, what can we say? This is Red Purple Luffy. It's a 6,000 power leader with 3 life as the drawback. What does this thing do? Basically, everything you want to do. Ramp and beat face. It has all the cards that you want to do this. It has a win con of something we haven't seen on camera in a long time here, but the great card here from the Gear 5 Luffy here. One of the few decks that can actually counter out this -10 Dawn ability, because this leader does have the ability to get a Dawn when you're at 0 Dawn. And the only way you can do that is if you have a card like this, a minuses 10 Dawn, allowing you to have an extra turn. And anybody that's played other TCGs, extra turns can be absolutely devastating. While this one doesn't have Rush, you're basically saying, after you play this card, I'm going to end the game the next turn. This is it. I'm going to go for game. I'm weakening my Dawn and my ability to play any more cards after this. Although, arguably, with these cards, I'm able to ramp up a few, get a few Dawn, get up to like 4 or 5, 4 Dawn on the next turn, which can set up for a blocker, maybe, if things go bad, but it's not likely. So most of the time when you see this, it's going to be the closer. It's going to be the same thing we saw with Goldie Roger from the last one. You drop that thing, and it's pretty much to end the game. Meet up with the beautiful new Shanks that came out from OP09, where you have this constant reduction of 1,000 power. This awesome Rush Luffy here, 1,000 power, -1 Dawn. You can draw a card, give this thing Rush. Has the Tony Chopper, which I've said to everybody, if you're playing red, you should be playing this one. This Sanji, I wish wasn't kind of like deck locked, not leader locked, but deck locked, because it only does this to Straw Hat characters. But it's nice to have a 2K with Diablo Jumbo on a stick. I mean, that's huge. You get Diablo Jumbo in your deck. You don't have to play the event card anymore. Now you get a 2K counter with it, and you have the ability to potentially play it for 2 and get that. This attack can't be used, can't have a blocker come against it. Another thing that hates blockers, Sanji, this one -1 Dawn, gains Rush and gets to rest up to one of your characters with 6 costs or less. And that's usually just to rest the blockers to get them to the attack. We got a nice little combo here with Useless Kid to get this thing a 7,000 power to the life once per turn on play, and when attacking, -1 Dawn. And you get to give your leader plus 1,000 to the start of your next turn. So, nice little 8K counter, or 8K body, that also makes your leader 7K. This has been the staple in the deck for the longest time, and it's been in and out, but I like it in the deck, honestly, because making 7K is a lot harder to do the math. And we're playing powerful counter cards like this Gum Gum Giant that everybody hates. -2 Dawn, trash 1 card from your hand. Your leader is Straw Hat type. One leader or your character get plus 4,000 power. So already 10,000 power just from the leader alone with the base stats. If it doesn't have the help from the other cards, to make it 11,000 power. And then, on top of that, after discarding a card, you get to draw 2. So you get to filter through some of the no counter in hand, because there are some cards that have no counter in hand. The Rush Luffy, the Shanks, the Monkey D. Luffy here, this Monkey D. Luffy. There's a lot of cards that don't have counter in hand, and, of course, Useless Kid. Along with some really good tech cards here with the God Thread, K up to one of your opponent's characters with 5 costs or less, then add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck instead is active. Nice little 5K removal for anything, 5K or less. Really nice for getting rid of blockers and some low K power stuff. That works really good against Lim and some other Dolphy decks that we seem to be seeing a lot of. So if you have a Dolphy heavy format, look into God Thread. Really good card. And then we have the Lead Performer Disaster. 4 cost, draw a card, then add a Dawn to your Dawn deck. Your Dawn deck set it as active. So just a nice little 4 cost ramp. And if it triggers, you get to draw a card and ramp out. So you get to get faster to these bigger hits, which this deck can do. Because remember, if this is at 9, it's technically 10. If it's at 8, it's technically 9. You're going to have the extra ramp from the leader ability in that late game, and potentially early if you end up playing something like Monkey D. Luffy. He's going up against Gibby, and Gibby's deck is the Shanks version of the deck here. This is the Rush Shanks. We've seen the control build on this channel quite a few times. We got Wolf. If you want to look up that list on my Patreon account, you can see Wolf's list for the control version. This is the Rush version. How can I tell? There's no building snake. Look at the number of Hongo Bongos. We got 1 copy of it. You see this in the early plays, it usually indicates this is either, if he's out in this deck, it means he's trying to set up for something, maybe for a Ben Beckman play later here. But likely this is going to be used at 2K. If you see it early in any other Shanks game, you can pretty safely bet this is probably the control Shanks. You're going to see things like Edward Newgate come out and rest and pop characters at 5,000 power or less. Or you get extra help with the Silver's Rayleigh that sometimes has difficulty getting the bigger characters, but with Hongo Bongo on the field, you can pop even weaker, even stronger characters with the combination of Silver's Rayleigh and Hongo Bongo. Yeah, the Rush build with the Monkey D. Dragon and the Shanks, and of course, the coveted 1 copy of Gold D. Roger that we literally just saw win the match at 0 life. This card could be relevant. In 5 minutes, I would not put it aside, or whatever. I would definitely see this as a choice card for a 3 life leader and a 3,000 or 13,000 attack coming at you to end the game pretty quickly, if we can get there. But this one doesn't ramp. The other one does. Let's find out. Will ramp beat the rush because both of these rush decks, both these players already set up, ready to go. Life out, hands ready. Let's start it off. It looks like the die roll is won by Gibby here. By Greg. I'm looking at my screen, not yours. Looking at by Greg here. Got the die roll exactly what you want to do. Shanks got the extra play. 6K coming into life. How much you want to bet Sanji's coming to follow up? We're gonna see it. No, Zorojuro for some ramp. All right, Zorojuro the play here. If Shanks can't deal with this card, it's going to be ramping him next turn. Not a lot that this Shanks build can do to it on this low a turn. Another Shanks, so taking a life with the first Shanks. We got a 7K swing coming into life here, looks like. And 6 first with the life to test the hand. 8K swing coming into life. Asking for 2 cards. Yeah, Greg just taking it. Rolling it back. Going to 5 turns. So Garrett all in on the rush build here. Definitely wants to put as much focus on that limited life from this leader and stress the hand. Doesn't want to give him too many turns. 5 Dawn turn for Greg. Let's see what he plays here. Going to get a ramp here from Zorojuro. It's going to get the extra 1 and attacks into the Sanji. So doing some board cleanup. Trying to slow it down a little bit here, but not too much here. 5. Here is that. All right, there's that removal card. We saw that is the ramp. Using an extra additional ramp for a 7K swing into life. Yep, double checking it. Good call, Gibby. Always read your cards here, but gets the counter out with the Jimbei. Hand out there. Now 6 on turn for Gibby. See what he can do. His board state absolutely devastated, but he does have rushers. He can get back into this thing. Probably going to want to get rid of the Zorojuro if he has the opportunity. We'll see. Here comes the Luffy on attack. Does add a rested Dawn to either leader or character. It looks like he's not going to choose to add it to leader here. Yes, Zorojuro has done his purpose. It's already ramped 1. And we got a 6K swing, or 7K swing coming in from the Shanks with an easy 2K counter from the Usohachi from Greg here. All right, back to Greg. We have 8, 9 Dawn turn because I said with leader ability, 8 is 9, 9 is 10. Here comes 9. We're going to, oh, sorry, no, not, it's 9 Dawn turn. Now it's 10. Going to 10, 8. It looks like possibly a dragon play. No, 10 cost. Here comes Shanks. Shanks now automatically pushing down against Shanks is huge. All right, 6K coming into life. We'll see if we get leader effect and a 1K from Ben Beckman. Going back to Garrett. Garrett, no board state, has to fight down already a Shanks. Shanks having to fight down Shanks this early? Come on, it's too early. All right, going back, I think this is the 5 Dawn, 6 Dawn turn for Garrett here. Simple attack in here. All right, here we go. Another rush in here. 2K counter out. Here comes 8K. Looks like we took that for life. Going back to Greg. Greg now with a healthy board with Shanks. Keep this Luffy down to a nice little 5K and a 6K leader. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you. The names that I'm looking at and what you guys are looking at differently here. So 9 cost rush Shanks from Greg. Going to use the ramp ability basically from the leader after the reduction cost from the little monkey to Luffy. Luffy coming in 10 into Luffy. Luffy talks out. Luffy comes in extra. Here comes 7 into life. This one going to get a counter and leader ability. 12K coming into life. It actually takes a hit. Now 1 Dawn open, indicating he likely has a Gum Giant just in case we get a giant swing from Shanks here because we have a 2-to-1 life here. Gibby 10 Dawn 8. All right, here we go. Good answer here from our rusher here, adding 2 rested Dawn to his leader. Here comes Dragon, 8K power due to the Shanks. 8K coming into life here. Do we see the Gum Giant with the 1 open? Or do we see 2 cards come out of hand here from Greg? Greg debating on it. Probably the longest time that any of these opponents actually thought about a turn yet. Whew, giving me an opportunity to breathe some. Looks like looking through, determining how he wants to navigate the next turn because he is close to lethal. Decides to take the hit. Here comes a 7K swing into life. Obviously has some kind of counter for this one. Can't afford this one to hit. If he doesn't, here comes the Gum Giant. Gonna discard. Return 2 first. Gonna discard. One of the removal spells from the God Thread. Draws 2 cards. Gets back to his turn. 10 Dawn turn. All he has left is a dragon and a leader here. What is the play here? 0 life. Do we see a Goldie Roger? Which wouldn't even matter because there's no blockers, but it's still a nice 13K swing. Into what's got to be a limited hand from Garrett. 3 solid attacks. Here comes the first attack. 1,000 into life. What are we going to see? Maybe going into dragon? I can't tell here. If we see a reduction... Oh, no. We're going to use the 2 we had open up there for the plus 4,000. on the defense here. Here comes 12K into life. Tapping 10. Here comes Luffy. Says, "I'm to get another turn. This is going to be it." Gear 5, Luffy locks it up. Wipes the board. Says, "I know you can't handle this next turn." Ramp it out. Here comes 7. And then the coveted 12. There's no way he defends against this turn with a possible 10 and a 12K swing. Using the leader ability. Here comes the first 10. And he doesn't have it. No counter hand. Garrett comes out. Gibby going down. Greg with the KO in the Gear 5 play. Woo! That was a fast play. We need slow motion or something, right? Oh, guys, I need to breathe. I need some chances to breathe in between these turns. Good grief. I think the only reprieve I got was when Greg had to think whether he was giving away 2 cards or taking a life on that turn. Oh boy, 530. Greg, congratulations, is our 2-time manga champion. We have 2 times now. 2 from James K for the championship qualifier, and 2 for the manga tournament. Greg taking home the amazing manga. Let me get that picture up and ready so you guys can see the winner. You've seen his baseball card, although it's with a different, really funny meme art. Let's see what he looks like in real life. Congratulations, Greg. Greg saying I needed everything he needed in that format. I couldn't agree more. That was brilliantly navigated. I think you had that just like exactly what you needed for those turns and navigated it perfectly. Fast too, just incredible. It's like you knew what that turn was going to look like before you even got into it. So, I mean, hats off to you, man. That it was absolutely incredible. Sorry. Tried to catch my breath after that one. The champ, it says Kinetic Carnage. Yes, the champ indeed. You guys can see this beautiful Zoro with 4 additional packs. From what I found out, I don't think he got another manga from this one. So, sad. But did get himself a nice Roronoa Zoro to take home to this absolute champion of a champion. For those that didn't see the pictures yesterday, these were our winners from the Gibby here in second place here, getting second place, I think, in both events, and was able to get this nice little prize and was able to get the Xbox. The Xbox was then sold to Kinetic Carnage, or sorry, sold to Wolf, which was then sold to Kinetic Carnage. And Kinetic Carnage hopefully still has it sealed, as I recommended he do so, because I don't think you're going to get the value back in opening up the Xbox. $140 is a lot for that Dex. We got a Chopper Alt-Art Leader? Okay. So, it's the mole. All I do is win. Congratulations, that's huge. It is sealed. Thank you. Thank you. It's thank you for doing so. Take a few breaths. Who has time to breathe? We just watched a 5-minute championship. Woo! All right, guys. It's wheel time. Wheel time. Let's see if she wants to cooperate today. I think I have everybody in there. If this is your last moments to put in a chat before we give away one of these 2 packs that could be a hit. Hopefully a manga. I always hope to get a manga. Let's find out. First pack goes to... Ooh, Tazzy hasn't won in a while. Tazzy! Congratulations, Tazzy 8669. Our first winner. Let's see what you go home with. Remember, I think Tazzy, I'm pretty sure Tazzy's on my Discord. First time. Is it first time, Tazzy? Is it really? Tazzy, if you're not in my Discord, please do so. I try to contact people through Twitch, but the notification thing is turned off for most people. So I got a lot of dead packs here that didn't get to anybody because I tried contacting them. If you can't, it's in my, if you go to my Twitch channel and in my YouTube channel, you can go down below and you can find out, you can see the Discord link. Click there, go to my Discord from there, and I'll contact you, get your information so I can mail this out to you. Yeah, Feeble was the one before. Oh, okay. All right, my bad. Only do about rigged. Congratulations. Tazzy's first one. Congratulations. Huge win here. Please, I need that address information so I can get this out to you. Absolutely no cost. Just need that information. And you're welcome to delete it right after. Mad Sopa. Let's go. Yes, congratulations. Tazzy. Here we go. Poor Kemi. Boa. Can we get a first hit? Capote. Dice. Keep Out. Spandam. Vinsmoke Sanji. Crocodile. Mr. Tanaka. Slow beam. Good uncommon. Good for those bounty players. Yay! Secret rare first hit. Sabo secret rare. Here we go. This one's been kind of crawling up, I heard. Either there's a bot or something going on with the Sabo, but I heard this one's going up. Can anybody look up the price here? See, give me the link for this one. That's huge, buddy. It's huge. Get our first hit on the box. Where is my sleeves for this stuff? Man, I am unprepared. Where are my sleeves? All right, we're gonna use this sleeve right now because I want to keep this one good and protected. Koala deck. Oh, the koala deck. Ah, that's right. It popped up because the koala deck was so popular. So yeah, you get this ring right here. $9. Oh, okay. I mean, it's still climbing up here. Yeah. With Opitol koala, it should go up even more in value. And Richie, I think you're 100% right. Yeah. So this huge. Hang on to it. Great value. Let's see if I got a hard case for you. Ugh. Big reach. Big pull. Here we go. Gonna keep this thing nice and neat for sure. Congratulations on the secret rare Sabo. I don't know if you had it or not, but that's awesome for your first win, Tazzy, getting one of the big hits from the set that is going to go up in value. So congratulations, brother. All right. Congrats. Here we go. Our first hit from the box. Oh, can we get a manga? Can it get even better? Awesome. Thank you. Not yet. Okay, you did that right. Excellent. Fantastic. So we'll put this here for you, and I'll get this out to you as soon as I can. Hopefully you give it to me. I should have some time because this stream was a little bit shorter than my normal ones. Yeah, sadly. This thing was so fast and didn't have time to do any news or anything. So let's get into our last vault for the day. Shuffling it up. Let's find out. Manga for Greg. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's the vault gets this thing. Oh, I was looking at the name list here. Captain Literal! Captain Literal is, I think it's like 4th win, and it's been a while. It's been a while. But Captain Literal, the man that usually comes out the first one to say, rigged! But a man that joins me just about every single time, so definitely well-deserved. Thank you very much, Captain Literal. Let's see if Captain Literal is going to walk home with a huge prize. Yeah, I was just thinking like a manga for like, Greg just wins a tournament, 5 minutes, has everything he needs, then wins the manga for the poll. It'd be hilarious. Oh, I'm going for the top. You don't go for the top. Go for the bottom. The glue's weaker at the bottom. Here. Richie Luffy. Yeah. Rigged. Alrighty, guys. Here we go. Captain Literal. Let's see who you're going home with. Maha. Usopp. Steri. Capote. Vince Sanji. I Rayquaza Help. Karmic Punishment. Snake Dance. Roaring Orizoro. Joseph. Galaxy Wink. Oh, Blaze Slice. Oh, okay, double rare pack. Double rare pack. That means there's at least 1 hit still left in the box. Could be a 3-hit, we don't know. Could be 2 more hits left in the box, we don't know. But double rare pack, Galaxy Wink, has some value. Not monetary, but has some value for some potential use and some good utility here. And who can't beat free, right? All right, Captain Literal. I got 2 things I got to mail out here, or multiple things. I got a little bit behind here. DK-ish won one a little bit ago. Got to get his out to him. What do I got here? I got a backup. I'm still trying to contact Kiyoki XBL. Jerdris is a little bit behind here. And Schneider. Still haven't kind of hold of Schneider. Schneider's been missing here. Let's see. What is this stuff? Too much stuff. There's too much stuff. And Mochi Gamer. Looks like we got one from Mochi Gamer still. So, yeah, I'll be to get these things out in the mail. I do apologize. Life has been a little bit hectic. You guys know how it gets sometimes. But I will get these cards out to you. You know, I'm always going to be looking out for you, and I'm going to keep trying. So if you guys contact Schneider or Kyuki or somebody wants to let them know, because I'm trying, but after a while, I'm just going to give them away to somebody else. Let's find out who is live tonight on the One Piece channel. See who we're going to raid tonight. Say a huge thank you to all the rest of you. Luffy TV, Chicky Tendies. Oh, let's get Chicky Tendies. Just getting started. See how he's doing. Always good to see him. Guy, give a shout out. If you guys haven't followed this guy, please do. He's a really good guy. Really enjoy his content. And I hope you guys enjoy the content tonight. Because I had a good time. A lot of fun. As always, everyone, stay humbro.
I gotta break even for the coop.